next product is next.
What's going on, everybody? John here with you. It's a Thursday night, May 25th, 2023. How's everybody doing out there today? We might be covering another sweep in the making with the Vegas Golden Knights and the Dallas Stars, but I'll be here all the way through it. The Dallas lineup's going to look a little bit different, but we'll start with the Vegas Golden Knights first. So here are your lines for Bruce Cassidy's squad. It's Jack Eichel, Ivan Barbashev, and Jonathan Marchessault with Alec Martinez and Alex Pietrangelo. William Karlsson, Riley Smith, and Nicholas Watt with Braden McNabb and Shea Theodore. Chandler Stevenson, Brett Howden, Mark Stone, Teddy Bluger, William Carrier, and Keegan Kolesar with Nicholas Hague and Zach Whitecloud. Aiden Hill will be the starter in net, where he's been very good in this series. And for Peter DeBoer's squad, the Dallas Stars are down 0-3 in this series. Their backs are against the wall. Their lineups sound like this: Roope Hintz, Jason Robertson, Joe Pavelski, Ryan Suter, Miro Heiskanen, Max Domi, Joe Kiravanta, Ty Dellandrea, Esa Lindell, and Yanni Hakanpää. Wyatt Johnston, Mason Marchment, and Tyler Seguin. Radek Faksa, Frederick Olofsson will get his first start, and Luke Glendening, who was scratched in Game 3, will start in Game 4 because Jamie Benn is suspended, and Evgeny Dodonov left the game with a lower body injury and will not return. So here are some interesting points that I have to make sure that I mark in. Don't think that they're going to get into the lineup today at all. The 27-year-old Rhett Gardner out of the University of North Dakota and Maverick Bork, round 1, pick 30 in 2020, 21 years old, played for the Shawinigan Characters of the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, were called up from the Texas Stars. So Dallas loses 66% of their second line. That's normally Wyatt Johnston, Jimmy Benn, and Evgeny Dodonov. On that side, it's going to be Max Domi, Joe Kiravanta, and Ty Dellandrea. So we'll see what ends up happening with that. Jake Ottinger will get the start in net, and the back end line of defense is still Thomas Harley and Joel Hanley. So it doesn't look good for Dallas, because in Game 1 it was a 4-3 win in overtime for Vegas. Very greasy goals for the Golden Knights, with the exception for a snipe of William Karlsson. He had 2 goals in that game. Game-winning goal was jamming off the back of Ottinger. Ben tied the game in the third with a rebound at the doorstep. Hintz had a snipe from Pavelski for Dallas, but they lost 4-3 in overtime. Game 2 that I covered, Heiskanen scored early, 2:47 in, several rebounds, bounced back to him before a shot goes over the head of Hill and in. Harley and Hanley both sent to the box for penalties. They gave Vegas a 5-on-3 that would be called. Stevenson's pass goes off the skate. Stone scores. And Robertson, and again, a goal again. He had his second goal in as many games in the series. Vegas had chances in the second period that went off the post. As again, Robertson scored on the power play. Vegas were held to a franchise low, 10 shots on goal through 2 periods. But as we talk about in between the Golden Knights and the Panthers now that are in the Stanley Cup Finals, being on shot doesn't necessarily mean much. More mistakes from Dallas. Suter lost the puck and behind the net, lost track of Eichel. His sick no-look pass found Marchessault behind the net to tie. And now Pavelski cleared it right to Vegas in the slot. Dallas was caught in the inopportune line change in a 5-on-4. Stone fired home the rebound on a pass put in by Stevenson. Hill was been out playing Ottinger, and it seemed like Dallas was playing lead protect. Vegas won Game 3 4-0. And this was the ugliest part. It was a complete implosion. Ben was suspended for a cross-check on Stone about 2 minutes in. Stars down 3-0, just over 7 minutes in the game. Ottinger pulled. Marchessault, Barbashev, Carrier, Pietrangelo all score. Hill was dominating at a 34-6 shutout. Evgeny Dodonov exited with injury. And after the game, which was even more ugly, not to mention the trash that was thrown on the ice, Ben was unavailable for comments. He was in his vehicle. And then when he came back and the day after, he said, "I wish I didn't use my stick as a landing point for falling on Stone." Not a good look, not a good soundbite. Everything is against Dallas right now. The only thing you can do is fight for your playoff lives. But again, from the way that Ben characterized himself and condoned himself, how does that transfer in the locker room for Game 4? Peter DeBoer came flat out and said that Ottinger is going to be in goal, so he is. He's going to bounce back. Aiden Hill, 6-1, 196 in these playoffs. He's been absolutely spectacular. Jake Ottinger, 8-8, goals against, 302, 895, 1 shutout. Very un-Otter-like on that side, but again, don't forget he played about 64 games of the 82-game regular season, and he's played every single game in net. I think he's pretty much overtired at this point, I would have to guess, but he's the best they got. And again, you could throw in Scott Wedgwood, but if you have a chance to win this game, try to extend the series, I think you still have to go with Ottinger, don't you? And again, I'm no Nostradamus. I didn't think both of these series would be one would be over in a sweep and the second one could be over in a sweep now, but it is what it is. I like to think that I have a good gauge on what's going to happen tonight, though, and I just don't see it for Dallas. We're going to give you this full commentary and NHL play-by-play and color and everything else. If Cooper Hopkins does join, I'm not expecting him to. I will get him in here on this side. But 1953, the puck falls to Jake. Immediately, he makes the save and holds on. Not really going to count as a shot. It was just kind of a dump in. But not really seeing it tonight for Dallas, but we will figure it out very soon. Again, if Vegas scores early, then again, at that point, this is probably done. As this is Dallas in the victory green, they're going to be going right to left in this first period. And Vegas in the road whites with the black pants mixed in with the gold and red striping. Good shot right out in front. And this one gets blocked. As it's picked up now by Riley Smith, trying to play off the backhand to find William Karlsson. And this will get picked off by Dallas and Miro Heiskanen. And then across the line, as this is an opportunity now for Tyler Seguin. He'll immediately fire the wrist shot. That one goes wide off the left side of the wall. Seguin now, as this is loose in front. And Foxa had an opportunity, and he fired that one wide as he tried to backhand it in, but he threw it right to the Golden Knights as it goes to the captaincy and Mark Stone. Suter getting away with some stinky gloves in the face of Chandler Stevenson. And this is flipped in by Robo, as now Hintz will try to go to a finish on White Cloud. This will fall right to Mark Stone. He makes a no-look backhanded pass as Vegas can go left to right in the entry. Great work for a White Cloud. Centered out in front, and Jake Ottinger took a look at it, but the puck didn't hit him near the left side of the blue line, as this is slowly flipping across the red line now. But this will find Eichel. Eichel's pass will get picked back up off his stick, and now Jonathan Marchessault will put this into the left side dot. Well, this will fall back to Joel Hanley, and this is intercepted right in front of the net. Vegas forces the steal, but Dallas right in front of the net will get this one out. And that was the main proponent of the Sportsnet coverage going on the pregame. Dallas has to be in front of the net to clear anything away from Ottinger, because if there's some rebounds there, he's going to give up a goal. That's pretty much what they've been seeing throughout the series, and it's shown to be the case. As this is near the left side wall, Dallas will fight to be able to get this puck as it's Mason Marchment. They will race it in with Joe Kiravanta. And now Kiravanta is getting around a hit as this is near the left side of the red line. It's spun around by Radek Faksa. As Ty Dellandrea will take a look at it. Here's a pinch and toward the right side for Colin Miller. As Essa Lindell will take a look, but he's stuck on his back skate. Shea Theodore's got it. And across the red line now is Essa Lindell. And now this is flipped in by Frederick Olofsson. He's going to get his first start in the 2023 Stanley Cup playoffs, and this is right into an elimination game. So he's walking right into the pressure cooker. As this is picked up now for Vegas, and they will dump it down the other way. Picked up off the backhand, finishing the hit as Essa Lindell got worked over. Vegas has this in behind the cage. Here comes a slap shot, and this one will get blocked. Alex Pietrangelo took a look at it, gets centered, and toward the left side, got a couple of rebounds, falls in the middle of the slot. Pietrangelo is going to get in the high slot now. Settle down. We'll take the pass across to the D, as this is near the right side of the face-off circle, and now Keegan Kolsar. He's the one that's pinching back on the blue line side. He works in off the backhand, and his pass will go right to Olofsson. And so get this in across the red line now and dump it in and take his change. Vegas just 1-0 on the shot board with 16:40 left to go in the first. Joining with it for Game 4 of the CBC Sportsnet coverage. No matter what happens, it will be an off day for me tomorrow because the Florida Panthers are done. They're in the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time since '96 when they swept the Canes. This series could be extended to Saturday. Again, about 8:15 Eastern puck drop on the same side between ABC and CBC Sportsnet coverage. That would be my next day back with you, should I be available for that side. But we will get this Game 4 done nonetheless, as Ottinger spins it around. I'll play it here for Mason Marchment from Miro Heiskanen. And now here's a dump of the puck, and it goes too far. This will be touched up in ice, and it will be against the Dallas Stars, so they cannot change their personnel. The third line is Tyler Seguin right now. And a lot was also made of Jake Ottinger playing the puck and around the net, rather than throwing the approach of Bobrovsky, holding on and taking draws. And I think there is something to read into that because Dallas is one of the best face-off teams that we got in the league, but Andre still has the propensity to play the puck. You got to take advantage of the personnel and the situations that you have. You know these guys can win the draws. You don't have to throw yourself in a mistake. Vegas is outscoring the Stars 9-4, even strength in this series. That's always a propensity of a good hockey team with a 5-on-5. As this is played in off the backhand now for Nicholas Hague, and on the right side. This is entered into the neutral zone now for Nicholas Wall. He's on the second line. Here's a chance right out of front. It scores! Riley Smith, 1-0 Vegas, and you're already feeling that pit in your stomach. If you're a Stars fan, Vegas on the board early, not even 5 minutes into the game, and the Brooms start to feel like they're going to come out even with so much time left. This was just a routine rush. Carlson started. Nicholas Waugh stopped it. Sauce pass might have got deflected by Carlson as well from the Riley Smith shot. I think Carlson's going to get this goal. It went off his stick blade. But a good work there from Waugh, Riley Smith, and Carlson. 1-0 Vegas. And this is already monumental trouble again. Yeah, that's going to be Carlson's goal, no doubt about it. Great play, great design. Carlson with his 27th playoff goal. Dallas is already behind the front foot again. And it's hard to believe that we could have two series that'll be complete sweeps. But for Florida and the Canes on that side, they were all one-goal games. This doesn't feel that way. This feels like complete domination. And if I'm a Dallas fan on that side, I throw out some of the tweets on there, John Renan as well. I'm just disappointed the way that they played. As this is centered out in front of the backhand, and this one goes wide. Vegas is 4-0 when scoring first in the playoffs and feel like they could be 5. Dallas is 0-5 when allowing the first goal. So maybe I don't even have to do the rest of this game as it's 3-0 on the shot board here for Vegas. And this will be sent in by the Stars. This is bodies everywhere right now as Rope Hintz try to get something settled out in front, but this will go back and how this hill race. Carlson with his 8th of the year on the playoff side. Here's a chance off the drop pass. Robo nicely stick lifted by Alex Pietrangelo. As this is Keegan Kolesar. A race now for Vegas, and I have the big save for Ottinger, but this is still with the Golden Knights as they work this in behind the net. Keegan Kolesar. Chandler Stevenson throws his back in the high slot. It's Alex Pietrangelo with a rocket, and this is picked up into the neutral zone, but easily intercepted by Chandler Stevenson. You got to watch out for his 200-foot game. Vegas already out shooting Dallas 4-0. Dallas doesn't even have a shot on goal, and they're down 1-0 in this game with 14 minutes left to go in the first. John, I'm here with you on the play-by-play. As captaincy, Mark Stone will put this in. Again, he was the one that took the stick in the back of the neck from Jamie Benn. And Jamie Benn, that's not his first offense. He did that to somebody in Edmonton. He also did that to Dylan Larkin on the Red Wings side. We didn't even get a penalty call. He was suspended for 2 games, so if Dallas gets swept in the series, Jamie Benn will be suspended for the opener, the 2023-2024 season. As it's centered out in front, Roddick Fox can't find it, and Whitecloud was there to get it out, at least toward the blue line side, but Vegas still has to be on their due diligence as Whitecloud will try to close out Roddick Fox as he spins around back to D. It's Harley. They'll let the wrist shot fly. Huge rebound. Good save by Hill. Another save by Hill with the left pad blocker. He has been excellent in this series, and Dallas finally gets a couple shots. There's an entry the other way from Mark Stone. This goes in between some skate blades. Roddick Fox was there. It was Jonathan Marchessault. We'll pin this down with the stick as Stone is being held alongside Carlson. Carlson gets dumped down the puck, and now Vegas will try to locate this as Robo couldn't get amongst the trees, and this will go back to Shea Theodore. He'll spin nicely in behind his net. He'll take a time before he makes extra passes. Aiden Hill looked on. This gets into the neutral zone, and this is picked up by Carlson. He'll fight this one up into the netting and on play. 12:41 left to go in the first. We go to the first commercial break quickly. And Vegas already out in front again. They're poised for the sweep. They want to play the Panthers.
Advice. Everybody's got some advice.
Heard about NFTs?
There are books on advice, even shows on advice. In a world full of cookie cutter, one size fits all, trust me, I know it all advice. Maybe it's time for a different kind of advice. Advice that comes from getting to know you, that understands your perspective before giving you any one. Special Ed, you're richer than you think.
When caught driving around one, the feeling is like no other. The first ever last 6.
You want to build your own bet? Then you need to try same game parlay from Bet365. 2. Win. What? How many? It's totally up to you. It's your bet. You decide. Download the app and see for yourself why Bet365 is the world's favorite sportsbook.
How do you go from the best to the ultimate without touching the bank? You choose the big, bold, ultimate taste of ultimate chicken sausages and hot dogs. Choose ultimate taste and value only from Maple Lodge Farms. Vegas on the board early here. He starts to play off, but he cruises right through the net, and he stops right there at the post. Doesn't swing by the net. You know what? You look just there by the net. And then Riley Smith with a real nice job looking for him. Officers out so far, there's no chance. Riley Smith gets the lead. Nice pass. Nice finish. And the Vegas go with night drop.
Back underneath the action now. 12:30 left to go in the first. Vegas is in the offensive zone. They're 5-1 in the playoffs with plus 11 goal differentials. Kivaranta gets his shot blocked and a one-timer for Max Domi. He was sent in there in a slide, a water slide on that, as this was picked up here by Haskin and now Domi. In behind the net is Dallas. Has to try to find something, I think, to find them level in the first period. I don't think they can afford to wait. Is Jack Eichel defensively responsible? You've known that from his time in Vegas, especially in his second season. He looks to be the best complete player he's ever been. As this is sent back around, I know he had all the points there in Buffalo, but Eichel's never looked like that. As it's William Karlsson. We'll settle this one back across the defensive side. And it gets picked up. Kivaranta with a nice steal as this is dumped in. Pavelski will get this one across as Robertson is in behind the cage. Pavelski, here's a chance, and this one will get blocked off the slap shot by Hakanpää. That was almost at 90 miles an hour. And now Dallas has to wait for everyone else to check up back on side as Robertson will punch it in, and Aiden Hill almost misplayed it in front of the net as this will go back and toward the left side of the red line. Zach Whiteclaw being pinned. Sometimes you can find him out there with Alec Martinez. As Nick Waugh has it near the right side. He'll stop and spin. Clear it in off the back end of the offensive zone as Waugh might get a chance to pick this one back up. Nicholas Waugh has been excellent. The depth of Vegas has been sensational as Karlsson drives right to the net. It was sticked away by Ottinger. Here comes a slap shot, and this one's blocked with the right pad. Theodore had it at 95 as this is cleared up one more time across the neutral zone. And again, maybe one and done a couple times for Dallas as they get in the zone, as Vegas has always been there with their principalities on defense. Here's a slap shot, as this is a chance for Audrey. Holds it into the glove hand, and that will stop him more and carry it. 10:39 left to go in the first. Max Domi, they're showing him, and his one-time run, a bended knee, sent him flying as he lost an edge. And William Karlsson, he was near the right dot. He worked his way off of a shot block and then got right in front of the net, almost dispossessed Fox, and almost beat Glendening to the left side of the crease. So good work by Vegas all the way through. Again, we've said that throughout this series. Again, I find it very odd in my room. I think one light bulb has been out the whole time, and all of a sudden it turns back on, I guess because of the heat, as this is sent back in now. And it's one defensively for Mason Marchment. And so backhand this one in the offensive zone will be a race for the puck alongside Wyatt Johnson, the 20-year-old. Again, 66% of the line was busted up because Jimmy Benn suspended Evgeny Dodonov had to leave the game with a lower body injury in Game 3. So Tyler Sagan's on the third line now as this is shoveled right to Hill. He closes the 5-hole, and I don't even know if he saw the puck. But this will go back and across the Bud Light logo and the emblazoned Big D as it's Mason Marchment played in off the backhand for Johnson as they'll keep this off the left side of the red line. Now Tyler Sagan He's just trying to get this one to Wyatt Johnston, and Johnson meant to throw this back to D here for Miro Heiskanen. This will be sent him toward the left side of the red line for White Cloud. I feel like I've called his name a lot as this one's flipped over the glass. This will go back to Heiskanen now. And then across the red line. Dallas will get it in. At least I thought they did, unless they'll call something else blown dead. So we are going to get a commercial break. About 9:40 left to go in the first. And this bounced off of Alec Martinez, and Aiden Hill was able to find it. 9:40 left in the first.
Isn't it nice when your coffee comes with a cookie on the side? How did they know you'd like something more? What about streaming a podcast or watching an episode instead of downloading ahead? Nice to have, right? When something's nice to have, more people should have it. That's why you can get Rogers 5G mobile plans now as low as $55 a month and count on more value to come because we're with you all the way.
We're seeing EVs more every day. Good to know there's one that can still make people say, you don't see that every day. Because it's the only EV that's an F-150. The all-electric F-150 Lightning. Hey, you
You got us. We got now.
The series most experts gave the Stars at the Sonic Edge goaltending, and with some going as far as say was a mismatch, it has been one just not in favor of the Stars. Aiden Hill leading tonight's game with a 9.49 save percentage and a 6-1 record. Already with a couple of big saves tonight, he's been outstanding and simply outplayed Jake Ossinger, who's been pulled 3 times in the playoffs. Angelo remains the Stars' top goaltender on the hill.
I'm going to leave this in for the commentary side of it because I know Dustin's not with me on the play-by-play side, but he said this feels like us when you're being outplayed on that side when you're playing the NHL game, and sometimes I can feel that way as far as his texts, and I can understand what he's talking about. You're getting outplayed, you're in a little bit of a bad break, and you just don't have things go your way. That makes some sense there for some Stars fans, and I can understand, as we talked about, with some of the shots on goal in this series as it turns on the other way. But Vegas, and on that side of it, even Florida on that side, they'll happily get outshot. It doesn't really mean much anymore for these shots on goal, as this one will get iced against the Knights. Aiden Hill's just been terrific. He's outplayed Jake Onger on that side, and his goalie mask is definitely a A+ on that side. He's got some Vegas touring sides alongside some beautiful designs of that CCM mask. But yeah, he's outplaying Jake Ottinger, and Vegas is pretty much outplaying the Stars on that side. And if this continues, they're going to go to the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time since 2018 when they lost to the Washington Capitals and Alex Ovechkin when he got his first. I'll fully admit to you that I was even rooting for the Golden Knights in that first time because that was the Cinderella story of the original Golden Misfits. I know with all the management decisions I've been on record as far as not liking a lot of those, but this is the first time over the 6 seasons of the franchise that it feels like they're making the right moves as this one goes up and on a play. Miro Heiskanen had a bid, and he shot that one up high. But this feels like the first time that Vegas has actually made the right decisions when you're thinking about Teddy Bluger, Ivan Barbashev. They're not flashy names. They don't have to be. It's just one of those ones that continue to add to your depth and make sure that you can be a good team and roll out all 4 lines. And that's important. So Aiden Hill's shutout streak so far in the series now officially hits 102 and 2 seconds, 102 minutes and 2 seconds for Aiden Hill. And a lot's also been made about the defensive core, the 6 different defensemen, all above 6'2" or larger, that if you keep the shots on the outside, if you allow Aiden Hill to make the first save and you clean up the rebound, he can do everything else that he needs to. And he's been a big story. He's been excellent, but his defensive In front of him has been excellent. Jack Eichel as well. Eichel's got it. Off of the defensive zone face-off win as Vegas gains the entry as this goes away from Jonathan Marchessault. And this is flipped in now for Harley. Picked up by Vegas, and Nick Hague is knocked the stick out of the hand of one of the stars, and the referee just falls down for no particular reason as this is flipped in by Adin Hill. Adin Hill now will drop it here for Alex Pietrangelo. And Pietrangelo, his clearing attempt against Glendening, it's William Karlsson will gain the entry now off the backhand as Jake Ottinger will quickly play this to the defensive core for Miro Heiskanen. He makes a 50-foot pass, and then for Karlsson, and this goes away from Fox, so quickly gloved by Adin Hill and then wrapped around the kick plate now as this bounces off of the Stars, so this will not be ice. It's not far enough anyway. As this will go now for Harley, and now Frederick Olofsson. He's going to fire a 5-fold chance near the left side of the face-off dot as it's picked up by Alex Pietrangelo. 7:20 left to go in the first. Luke Glendening as this is picked up by Vegas. Nick Waugh, he will slow up at the line and get this across the right side dot, and Pietrangelo will dump it in before he gets punished by Olofsson. So he's trying to make his mark in his first playoff entry in 2023. So get the most of it. Finish your body checks. As this jumped down the other way, Rope Hintz gets away from the head. Adin Hill will play this as this is cleared, kept in by Miro Heiskanen. And now Alec Martinez with Pietrangelo try to get this one out. They roll across the brazen deep. And now Suter's got it. He gains the red line entry as this will fall back to Adin Hill one more time off the backhand. And Glendening, a little bit too far for him. As Harlan has to go back. It's Joe Pa. He will send this around the end boards, and this will go off the glass and on a play technically. So we get a stoppage with 6:32 left to go in the first. It's a 1-0 lead for the Vegas Golden Knights. It was William Karlsson with Riley Smith and Nick Waugh, primary and secondary assists respectively. Thank you guys for joining me at Twitter Spaces and YouTube side at John Ryanot. No matter what happens, tomorrow is going to be an off day. And if, let's say, this series is done and the Celtics able to extend another one against the Heat, we'll call that on the Saturday side as we wait for assignments. And then when we do get all the perspectives and dates together, I will get the Stanley Cup Finals template together. And I know what it looks like on this side. It's going to look like the Vegas Golden Knights and the Florida Panthers. But Dallas, they're still alive in this game right now, but they're down a goal with 6:10 left to go in the first. As this is sticked a couple times by Theodore. He can't get it out, but now Vegas will find it with the captaincy and Mark Stone. Here's a cheeky little flip that goes in near the right side dot. This will fall back to Jake Ottinger. He'll play this up the back skate. Again, this is turned over right in front. And that's all on Jake Ottinger right there. That's what they're talking about. If you know the puck is right there in front, don't put yourself in a situation where you got to bail yourself out. You have guys that can win draws, and there was a chance right out in front that was stopped. Ottinger was there, but you can't be so casual with the puck. As this is sent back now for Pietrangelo, Barbashev will slow it down. And then across the red line as this is fired right in. I'll have to make sure that I'll throw that into the notes. We'll get another commercial break with 5:30 left to go in the first. Ottinger bailed himself out as we go to break.
Introducing Scotia Smart Investor. Set, change, and track your financial goals with real advice just for you, so you can worry less and rest easy. Like Ed here. Get started at ScotiaBank.com.
We are always in motion. Getting this, fixing that, arriving to destinations in life and around the globe. Sometimes it's beautiful. Sometimes it's a blur. Because life never stops, you need someone you can trust to go right along with you, no matter where the future leads. Enterprise, for lives in drive.
But I'm sorry. There's no way we can have supplement without sorry.
You also said there's no way your brother would be staying with us for more than 2 weeks.
He's got a good point. Get that taco to a salsa.
Right. Taco night doesn't have to be perfect to be perfect.
You need to try meditation.
No offense, but meditation is for white folks.
Say less, Black King.
Now streaming. See the movie of that only on Disney Plus.
No one is going to think that you be played dressed like that.
Look like a modern hooker with low body fat and functional strength.
You're dressed like a white girl at Whole Foods.
Let it love go. Cinco Walls. Jack Harlow. The white boys have to go. Who? Bang. White man can't jump. I'm here whenever you guys need me. For what? A monster? A deep tissue massage? Come on now. Now streaming only on Disney Plus.
What did you do here? You have to find a way to get offense to clear the D line. It's a good start. See them there early on the period. How do we get something that's a good enough job to cover the Jets, but
When they're showing this on the Sportsnet side, we got 5:30 left to go in the first stanza, and I mean it's just mistakes after mistakes against the Stars. You could talk about that over and over. I know we've had sometimes in this series. It'd be the third game that we cover, but Vegas at some point you just can't keep doing that. This is picked up by Dallas as we're back underneath the action now. 5:20 left to go. Rope hits Robertson. Here's a one-time play for Pavelski, and that one will go wide, the left side of the window. And now this will be tried to kept in by Heiskanen, wrap around the net. This is a chance to stay with the Stars as they try to jam this away short side, and Hill finds it. The play isn't blown dead until after, and this will be a high sticking call. This will go against the Golden Knights, so Dallas has got an opportunity. When they've been living right by the power play. They've got the score right now. There really isn't any other thing to say. As here's an entry now for Rope Hintz. He'll drop this one for Robo. Great design as it was Robertson with a no-look right to Pavelski, right in the middle of the slot. It was a good save by Hill. Rope Hintz. Robertson was in front of the doorstep. He gets sticked up. It gets all caught up between Theodore and Robertson, so it's an easy call. And Robertson, for all the Dallas fans that were talking about him not showing up, I think he's been really good in this series, considering he's been one of the better Dallas Stars. And now they've got to score here. They got a power play. The door's been open just a little bit. Tyler Seguin going to get a chance to take the draw. So Seguin going to be on the forward side with Pavelski and Robertson. Rope Hintz will be the back end defense. Next, they're probably with Miro Heiskanen most likely. Fifth on the power play at 29% in the regular season. And that's got to be what they have right now. They've got to convert. Miro Heiskanen's got it in behind his net. As Dallas will look to go right to left side, steps ahead, turns it over. Vegas has this now, as this is just a brutal play. I didn't even make a pass up in front. As this is picked off by the Victory Green, thankfully for them. And now 1:33 left to go. This will be near the left side of the red line. Tyler Seguin drop it back for Heiskanen. Maybe if they get a goal, they'll try to get their head out of there. You know what? As this is sent back around for Heiskanen. Patient and toward the right side, up in the high slot, gets it right back to Miro. He'll fire into the traffic. This gets tipped by Robertson. Scores! And we will see if it's played with a high stick. I don't believe it's going to be. Robertson's got his third goal of this series, and they make it count. He stayed with the play. He got in front of the net. He was willing to get in front of the traffic. And again, for all the Dallas fans that said, why isn't Jason Robertson scoring? He's got 3 goals in this series. He's been the best star. This has slipped in a couple times. Hill trying to find this in between his glove, trying to find it in between his blocker side, can't get it in between the stick. Robertson bats it out of the air. What an incredible goal for the 23-year-old. Excellent hand-eye deflection. You learned from the best in Joe Pavelski. And Robertson ties it up at 1. That is a miraculous effort by Robertson. What a goal. Stick-to-itiveness. He never gave up on the play. And Dallas ties it up at 1. His 6th career playoff goal. So you can't ask Robertson to do any more than he's already doing. As this is picked up now. 4:13 left to go in the first. I think this might have been cleared in the players' bench. But no matter. Dallas has just tied it. Jason Robertson on Dallas's 10th shot of the game. Vegas has 9. Again, the hockey guy who follows from this stuff on YouTube, maybe the recipe for success is to let Vegas outshoot Dallas, because anytime Vegas or Florida gets outshot, again, Florida, they're going to the Stanley Cup Finals. They're 11-1 when they get outshot in these playoffs. And again, that's just one of those weird statistical oddities. As Hill play this in around, the shutout streak ends at 106 minutes and 21 seconds. As Robertson finds the back of the net. 3:55 left to go in the first. as this is played in off the backhand. Now in toward the right side dot. Stars. They got a goal. Robertson with his fifth of the playoffs, 15-42. And now we really get some heated pushing and shoving. I see White Cloud and Bluger trying to settle some things down. Joe Pavelski, Radek Faksa is in the mix. 3:45 up to go in the first as we get a stoppage. Luke Glendening with the fourth line side. Radek Faksa tries to wrap it around. And Faksa was just trying to bang it in. And Vegas takes no exception. You put any stick taps on your goaltender, you're going to get some dirty gloves and some back checks right into your back on that side of cross checks. Is the stick almost went in the face of Radek Fox, and even Aiden Hill's got somebody in a chokehold on that side. As this is won by Dallas, they cannot keep the offensive zone draw in. 3:40 left to go in the first as it's Ryan Suter wrapping around the red line side. Mason Marchment has got it as this is picked up by Vegas. Played in, turned over by Tyler Sagan, sidesteps a check. Fired at the net. This bounces off a couple of Vegas Golden Knights. As Vegas, they've just conceded one. And Carlson passed a log, was a little too far, but Vegas is there. Back in the defensive end with Alex Pietrangelo. Let's go Stars chance finally happened at American Airlines Center. They're pumped up. Their team's got a goal here, and they finally solved Aiden Hill with a terrific effort from Robertson. McWaugh spins and fires. This goes up the blocker. Vodner gets centered right in front of the slot. But the Victory Green jerseys are there. Mason Marchment off the backhand. He tried to find one of the cutting Stars. And this is offsides. This is not kept in. We'll get a stoppage against Colin Miller on that side. And Devonta, and we'll do it again. So we're underneath the 3-minute marker of the first period. John Hunter with you for Game 4 coverage of CBC and Sportsnet. Thank you for joining me today on Twitter Spaces and the YouTube side of John Ryan. If you want another clear audio, you can follow one at Twitter Spaces as well at the same tag at John Ryan. So that's the Lindell. He's got it. And this will be ripped in off the kick play. This takes a weird bounce as Dallas might be able to get to this, but Vegas plays this off the backhand, trying to find Mark Stone. And now Hockenpop. Boston in between his skate blades. Here's a drop centered out in front of the net. A good save for Jake Ottinger with the left pad. As Domi is in full flight, gains the entry. Pick it up. Marksman tries to get a stick on it. And now Stone. This will be countered the other way. Carlson dropping the slot for Chandler Stevenson. Knocks down one of the Golden Knights. And Golden Knights are all the way already set on the back check. It was a 3-on-1 on that. So even on the defensive side. So good responsibility for Bruce Cassidy's squad. As this is sent back around for Ottinger. And played quickly there for Thomas Harley. As Harley will get this here from Robertson. Robertson with the pass. There's a chance for Joe Pavelski. He'll fire it wide near the left side of the crease. Stars can't keep it in, though. Here's Jonathan Marchessault. Boy, has he been a pain in the playoffs for any of the opponents to deal with. He always seems to find a way to get timely goals. As this is the stick off Joe Carabanta. And now Nick Hague will pick this back up off the backhand as Dallas will recollect. This bounces off the referee, and Harley has it. Give it in for Radek Fox on the fourth line side as it's intercepted. This will go back for Hague. And now recollected by Vegas. It'll be a long flip. Teddy Bluger will get this one offside. He'll shovel a backhand into the middle of the slot. And now Kiravanta, he gets rubbed out, loses the puck, and toward the right side, Keegan Kolsar will slam this around the kick plate. Now Kiravanta will try to find it again as the stick goes out of the hand, I believe, of one of the Golden Knights. And this is in toward the players' bench. This goes across the emblazoned D and the white jerseys of the Vegas Golden Knights. Will wrap this in as we have a minute left to go in the first. It's tied at 1. Picked up toward the right side dot. Played it off the backhand by Riley Smith. He'll get it back to the right side dot, centered out in front. And that goes a little bit too far. As it's sent back around, Pietrangelo with a bomb. And Ottinger will find it in the webbing of his catching glove. 46.6 left to go in the first. That was a good play on that side for the Golden Knights. I think that was Brett Howden or cutting William Carrier. But just couldn't get his shot off. He had to drop it back to Pietrangelo. He fired it and made the save in the high slot. Shots now on goal read 12-12. We're tied at 1-1 apiece at American Airlines Center. We're going to be closing out the first period of regulation. Dallas needs a win to be able to keep their playoff hopes alive. Vegas is already up 3-0 in the series. They want the long extended break that the Florida Panthers are going to have. They're coming off the Super of the Canes. Dallas won Game 5 and 5 of 7 series went down 3-0. That's the only game that they've won. So this is settled back here for Haskinen. I'll fire this one down. So essentially what Sportsnet's tell me 5 out of 7 times when they've been down on that side, they can win game 4, they can win game 5. It doesn't go much farther than that, but at least make a fight out of it. So that's what Sportsnet stats will show as far as Dallas and their possible fights. Maybe they can even extend this series to as much as Monday on that side, but they need to get to Saturday first. 56% on the draws in these playoffs for Dallas, and they'll pick it up off the backhand side. And now Luke Glendening and Kira Vonsa will come together near the right side dot as Vegas will try to get to this with Nick Waugh, Alex Pietrangelo as well. Pietrangelo will try to fight to this near the right side boards. Waugh is still trying to get around a couple of Dallas stars as Ty Dellandrea will join in. Vegas does gain the entry, but this should be played out cleanly. Ryan Suter, again, his gaffe in game 2 certainly cost the Dallas Stars. It was a late goal and overtime on that side as it's flipped in. Nick Waugh plays this off the backhand. Riley Smith will shove it into an open area. Kira Vonta picks it up. That ends the first period. It's 1-1 after 1. Dallas trying to stay alive in this series. They're down 3-0. When we come back, we'll call second period action in the moment. Jason Robertson has the latest goal of the game, his third of the series.
This period brought to you by Scotiabank and Scene Plus. Enter now and you can score a trip to the
So it's Jason Robertson on the power play.
My brother and I, we work hard. But when we hit the road in my F-150, we work smart, which means more time to play. Find the F-150 for your playground. Start your journey with this great offer at your local.
From Miro Haskinen and Rope Hintz.
Introducing Tim's Barbecue Crispy Chicken Loaded Bowls and Wraps.
We need barbecue sauce. Need it on everything.
We're sisters, but we're also
Barbecue sisters.
Freshly prepared with ingredients like crispy seasoned chicken that's tossed in a smoky barbecue glaze and topped with a creamy barbecue sauce.
It has cucumber tomatoes, glorious barbecue chicken.
It tastes so good. You get barbecue.
Can I take another bite?
Try new Barbecue Crispy Chicken Loaded Bowls and Wraps for a limited time.
Whether you're at Raj's, or Hans, or Maria's, there's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian, XL, Ultra, Molson, everyone in.
After an accident, the choice of a lawyer may be the most important decision you make. What makes a great lawyer? The ability and resources to fight for maximum settlements. Big settlements are won by lawyers with big experience. At Bregmont Fortune Partners, we've been fighting for the injured for over 40 years. If you've been injured, call us. No upfront costs and no fee unless we collect money for you. Bregmont Fortune Partners, we can help.
What happens when we turn our country into one giant obstacle course? The ultimate challenge. Stream free on CBC Channel.
Sunday on CBC and CBC Jet.
The CBC News app, free anytime, anywhere. Dig deeper and get more from the news.
What does this land do for us?
Here on CBC News Explore.
So let's start with the why and then we'll get to the what.
Because that's what we do here. We explore news.
And that means more carpet is being released into the
I'm just typing in a couple notes here, and then I'll get you your reset as far as everything else in the stats.
Figure it out together.
Batters were striking out way more often.
You can get it 24 hours a day, and it's free.
How did this happen?
CBC News Explore. Stream free.
In my hand is everything I will ever need to bet in play. I can bet on over 780,000 different games every year. Hold up. The latest live odds are on your screen now. Want to make a bet while the game's still being played?
All right, so let's get your stat reset for the YouTube side, and for anyone still listening on the Twitter Spaces, we're in the middle of the first intermission. It's 1-1. Your goals: William Karlsson for the Golden Knights, Jason Robertson for the Dallas Stars, Riley Smith and Nick Waugh getting assists, Miro Haskin and Robe Haynes do as well. So in the first, William Karlsson immediately 4:17 into the period. Great play from Waugh to stop at the line. Smith has his shot tipped by Karlsson, and Vegas already looked good. Dallas got some pressure on 12:42, and Hill made a couple of big stops as he kept it at the one side. Lance 227 says pulling for the Stars. I don't blame you, my friend. I think a lot of people are. Again, on my side, I'll just be honest with you, Lance. Again, I'm no Nostradamus. I did not expect Dallas to struggle this much. I know how good Vegas is, but I think Dallas is a complete team. I understand no Dodonov and no Ben with the suspension now. It's going to be difficult, but they got to do it now. So 5:30 left to go in the first. Ottinger tries to play a puck to Haskin, and they turn it right over. There was a lot of Sportsnet coverage as well, where Ottinger, we talk about how good Dallas is as far as the draws, and he bailed himself out of the slot save. Probably should have held on to it, but he made the save. Mistakes have been key in this series. Jason Robertson scored on the power play goal. It's a hard-working and unbelievable effort. Let me make sure that I get the time on that as far as the notes. Give me 1 second. That's at 15:42 for Jason Robertson. And it was Braden McNabb with a stick against Pavelski.
It was going to be bad tonight. So it's not just two most handsome guys on
So it was a McNabb chance. It was busted for a call against Pavelski with a high stick. And then Robertson scored on the power play at 15:42. It was a hard-working and an unbelievable effort as he stayed with the puck. Hill couldn't find the rebound. The shot was put in from the slot on that side, and that was from Riley Smith, or Miro Haskin, excuse me. Miro Haskin is the one that lets it go. Hill can't find it. The puck is stuck in between the webbing of his catching glove. It's kind of bounced from the blocker, bounced from the stick hand, and Robertson just stays with it. He continues to try to bat it out of the air like 3 different times, and then finished it off as the third time he gets a hand-eye deflection right out of the air. An exceptional goal from the 23-year-old. So for everybody that's talking again, I want to just throw this out there about Robertson and his struggles. He's got 3 goals in the series against the Vegas Golden Knights. It's not on Robertson anymore. You can't use that narrative. So it's tied at 1. Aiden Hill's shutout streak ends about 110 minutes so far. Shots on goal are 13-12 for Vegas. Hits are 15-10 for Dallas. Faceoffs are 13-5 for the Stars as well. I want to go ahead and get to that. My friend on the Dallas side, Dustin All says that Robertson goal was some Jedi stuff. Yes, it was.
I thought the biggest off Haskin right here. I mean, tracking that puck, getting past Theodore, and he just looked so great in all his little battles in the crease. But he also does something really well, and that's playing the puck. I thought at least 4 or 5 times he handled the puck really, really well for his defenseman, and that makes it so much easier, as everybody knows, to exit the zone. Your defensemen don't get hit as often, and it's just so much easier for those guys to go back there knowing that he's going to play the puck nicely to them, and then they're not going to get killed, unfortunately.
Send him a quick text on that side. Because he goes, that was some Jedi mind stuff from Robertson. That was an unbelievable hand-eye play to bat that out of the air. So it's tied 1-1. Again, going into this as far as the notes and openers. Again, no Ben with the 2-game suspension. No Dodonov with the lower body injury. So that brought in a couple players who are probably not playing, but the 27-year-old Rhett Gardner out of the University of North Dakota and Maverick Bork. He was the 30th pick in round 1 of 2020. He last played for the Shawinigan Characters on the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. So they lost 66% of their second line, which is normally Wyatt Johnson, Ben, and Evgeny Dodonov. So we'll see how Dallas does. That just means that everyone else has to step up, but Ottinger, he stopped 12 out of 13. Aiden Hill on that side stopped 11 and 12. So Ottinger's going to have a game where he outplays Hill, and the rest of the team's got to step up. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it because Stars have their back against the wall.
and all of a sudden you start making these little mistakes. And it was just
So let me just get to something really quick. I'll save all the other discussion again. When I eventually do get a hold of Cooper Hopkins and he will be available, we will talk about the Craig Conroy stuff and the Calgary Flames and the GM additions and everything else. But I saw this the other day, and this is also thankful from the Hockey Guy. If you don't follow the Hockey Guy on YouTube, please do so. But there was some news and notes that went across. So Alec Poso gets a 1-year extension for the Buffalo Sabres. That one's all done. The one thing that caught my eye, and again, this isn't major, but we'll throw this out there. This could happen as soon as next year, 2023, 2024. So we currently have an 82-game regular season schedule. The NHL is thinking about getting this to 84. Why is that? Not only to get a couple more expanded revenue and possibly put the salary cap up $1 million. I think that's probably going to happen. The way that it's set up right now in the 82-game schedule, you know how you play certain teams in your division 4 times and certain teams 3 times? The 84 games will take those couple of teams that get 3 times and move those to 4. So you'll play everybody within your division 4 times. You'll play everybody in your same conference 3 times, and you'll play everybody in the opposite conference twice. So that's what an 84-game schedule will look like. It'll balance everything else out, and I feel like that's going to happen as soon as October when the season starts again in 2023, 2024. So I would throw my thoughts on there for that. Let me know what you think. As far as the Dallas thoughts, I let you know about Jimmy Benn and all that stuff yesterday. I thought that was pretty gutless on that side, in the sense where you said, I wish I didn't use my stick as a landing point to fall on Stone's neck. That was just something that he said. I don't think anybody really believes it. The Florida recap, that's a 4-0 sweep of the Carolina Hurricanes. Again, I covered 3 of the 4 games. 2 out of the 3 that I covered went into OT. All of them were 1-goal games. Matthew Tkachuk, in every game that I covered, scored the game-winning goal as Florida makes the Cup Finals for the first time since 1996. I hear a lot of people talking about Team of Destiny situation. Look, I don't buy that, but I will tell you this. In between a 3-1 situation, Boston didn't handle their business. And when you don't handle their business and you're a good team like Florida can be, sometimes you find your way on the right side of it. They found their way. They blew out Toronto. They didn't blow out the Canes. I thought the Canes played much better than Toronto, even though Toronto got a game. They lost every game within 1 goal. They dealt with some injuries. Bobrovsky was excellent, but they fought hard. But it's the margins are razor thin. And look at it. Now you can talk about it honestly in the sense of the trade in between Jonathan Huberdeau, Mackenzie Weegar, Kolschak, and a first-round pick that Calgary was able to acquire, and Matthew Tkachuk went to Florida. That's worked out, has it not? And alongside Alexander Barkov and even Sam Bennett on the side from a Flame on that side, as Cooper would always tell me, this line's looked good. Bobrovsky's played excellent. When you're looking about Brandon Montour, would he be able to get the top line minutes and feel good after leaving on the side of Mackenzie Weegar? Could he step up? He certainly did. And Florida's playing the way that they're supposed to. They already had talent. You knew that they didn't feel too good about losing after winning the President's Trophy last year. They've certainly turned it all the way around. It's not a team of destiny. It's just a team that's playing really well. And I'll tell you this, even on that side, as Tkachuk is $3.25 to win the Conn Smythe. I don't want to put the money on that. I was talking about the Panthers. But I'll tell you this for Vegas. Again, the road is probably set for the pathway to start at T-Mobile Arena against the Panthers, unless Dallas pulls off the miracle. But if you're Vegas, and I know they're not, I know Bruce Cassidy's not, but you absolutely cannot take the Florida Panthers lightly because they will make you pay. I don't think it's going to be a 4-0 sweep in the Stanley Cup Finals. I'll say that. I do want to throw out one thing, and then I'll stop talking here for a minute. On the side is my schedule. So if this ends tonight, again, it will be an off day tomorrow. If the NBA series continues with the Celtics and the Heat, maybe we'll do that on Saturday if I'm available. But I want to talk about the Stanley Cup Finals for a minute. So my fiance Lauren, her sister Stacy, is going to get married on June 10th. And depending if the league moves up in the NHL, let's say both these are a sweep. If the league moves up the dates, June 10th could essentially be a Game 5, a Game 6, a Game 7. And I'm going to miss June 10th regardless. So I'm hoping upon hope that that's not a Stanley Cup clinching game because I do want to get the final call. I will have it on Hopeful Sports Guy nonetheless. It might not be on the YouTube side. It might be a delayed call on that end on my side because I will keep it for all my database, but I will miss June 10th. I hope that's not a series clinching game, but everything else for the Stanley Cup Finals, most likely Florida and Vegas, will be at hopelesssportsguy.wordpress.com, at John Reinhardt on the YouTube side and Twitter Spaces. And again, if you listen to Hopeless Sports Guy, part of the pod, Cooper Hopkins will join me for most of those games on that side, even though like Nava, Cooper's not available on that side. But we will cover the Stanley Cup Finals through and through. I'm just going to miss June 10th if it happens to fall on a game day. So thank you for understanding.
Bobrovsky gets his rest now too. Yes, that's it. We've been following the storyline all throughout the playoffs. Now he gets time off before the final starts. You don't have to worry about him getting tired.
As you know, if it goes 6, this Western Final will go to June 3rd.
Yeah.
If it ends in 5 or less, then it will start on May the 31st next Wednesday. The NBA tracker is a table.
So here's the deal. I just got this from the CBC side. So if the game goes 5 or less, this will start May 31st. And if it goes 6 or more, it'll start June 3rd. So yeah, the Stanley Cup Finals could start as soon as the 31st. And let me just forecast this here really quickly. So let's say this starts on the 31st. That means I'll have to get my preambles, everything else together by Tuesday. And the 10th will be on Saturday. So if it starts the 31st and we play every couple of days, game 2 could be Saturday maybe on the 3rd. Game 3 is the 5th. Game 4 could be the 7th. Game 5 could be the 9th or the 10th. So it could probably be game 5 or game 4, depending on if it goes 5 or more. So that's probably what I'll miss, a game 5 most likely. Hopefully at that point that will not be a cup clincher. So thank you for CBC Sportsnet for that.
The heavy hitter. The original. The award winner. The non-conformist. The weekend warrior. There's an award-winning Ram truck just for you, with a full line of trucks for immediate delivery during month of Ram. Get 15% off MSRP at Ram Classic for up to $11,000 in discounts. Plus, get 4.99% financing.
Jerry's pulling up. I bet you never got the nachos.
I'll take that action.
Yeah.
I'm just going to type this up here.
Sorry, I'm late. I brought nachos.
Let me make sure.
You should bet on something more exciting. Bet99 advocates responsible gambling. Take advantage of their built-in tools to help you gamble responsibly. That's why for me, every game starts at Bet99.
Let me guess. You're not impressed with my performance.
Are you ready for a total physical and emotional transformation?
Yeah!
That's pretty life-changing.
A big deal for real. Yes.
Together forever.
Was there anything else?
Here's the Vegas Golden Knights with the ultimate troll job. Again, I'm just trolling some of these things on the Twitter stuff before we get into the puck drop. It's obviously would have liked if the puck didn't use our net as a landing point. Well, there you go. That's ultimate troll job there for the Vegas Golden Knights. It's why they have one of the best Twitter accounts in all the land. Boy, oh boy, that quote I think will live in infamy. We're going to get set here for the second period. John on here with you. This should be a lot of fun. It is a 1-1 tie in between Vegas and Dallas. Again, the goals are for William Karlsson and Robertson. And we will see what happens here. What do you guys think with the 1-1 tie? Do you think Dallas gets a chance to extend this series now? So underneath the second period puck drop now, left to right, is Dallas as they will fire this one in across the red line as this is flipped and around the end boards now as it goes a little too far for Marchman. Now Yanni Hakanpää will accelerate as Vegas will try to locate this here. Mason Marchman pick it up off the backhand, will make a move to the net and toward the right side dot. Riley Smith watching as it's played in off the backhand and sent back down the ice where this will find the stick of Jake Ottinger. And now Dallas will recollect. Here's a pass from 40 feet and across the red line now. Recollected off the backhand. Robertson. The 5-hole of Aiden Hill was closed, but Robo looked good so far in this game. He's already got a goal as Aiden Hill makes the save. But we lost the score chyron for Sportsnet momentarily. I'm sure we'll get that back. If we do have any issues, I can flip it toward the ESPN coverage. But Robertson able to get leverage on Nick Hague and almost shoot that in between the wickets as he makes the save. So Robertson's got 4 shots. Pavelski going to get set to take the draw. There's the score chyron. 19-20 left to go in the first. 13-12 on the shot board. We're in the second period. It's a 1-1 tie. There'll be a chance for William Carrier off the defensive zone draw. He'll win it. And this will be picked up by Zach Whitecloud. Whitecloud has to get around the traffic near the right side dot. It's Robertson again trying to play this in for Hintz. This bounces off his skates. And now this will be spun around for Miro Heiskanen. Robertson will find it. Hintz will spin. Near the left side as Robo picks it up off his backhand. That was a great-looking pass for Robertson for Hintz, but he fired it wide. And now Robertson's got it. Pavelski trying to get tapped out of the air by Rope Hintz and flip down the ice. Man, Robertson has looked better and better every single game as we've gone along. And again, Dallas is up on the precipice against it, but he's played well against the Vegas Golden Knights. And now Rope Hintz can't find it. Here's a stretch pass from 50 feet as Jonathan Marchessault will gain the red line. And this is flipped in. Jake Ottinger will put this into the right side. And this is picked off, but Miro Heiskanen will find it back in behind the cage of Otter as he's holding on the stand-up near the left side post. It'll be a race into the offensive end as Marchman gets bodied off the puck. And now Max Domi as this is get picked up off the backhand by Vegas. And now Hague will try to get a piece of this. Jack Eichel as well as Dallas will fire this in toward the right side of the red line. And now further skated by Ty Dellandrea. It's Thomas Harley. Into the left side of the boards. This will go back to Dellandrea as its puck is chipped. Ivan Barbashev trying to locate it. Dellandrea shoots it up the blocker, a hill, and a couple of rebounds. And Vegas was right there to clean up the mess as Harley flips it back down and across the red line. This is picked off the backhand. It's Radek Faksa. And they'll try to sneak this in the 5-hole of Aiden Hill, but a good blocker save will cancel it off near the left side dot as Dallas trying to provide that pressure. Again, they've heavily outshot Vegas in this series, but as Florida's shown you, that doesn't really matter right now. You got to be able to put the goals in the back of the net. Eichel now from Stone as this one's cleared in. And now Harley will go back and pick it up. This will wrap this around the kick plate. Let's go Stars chance as the former Red Wing Luke Glendening will race this one in. Alec Martinez will take a look at it as this is centered off dangerously in front in the high slot, and it's blocked by Vegas. And the shot will be sent back down. Colin Miller will just slam this around the kick plate with the slap shot. Dallas off the change. Pick it up off the backhand. And this will be recollected by Tyler Seguin. Seguin now with the help of Yanni Hakanpää. As Nick Hague gets thefted away, it's Wyatt Johnston. Puts it in between the circles, and Mark Stone is there. Good defense there from the captaincy as it's Chandler Stevenson. They're the first to get to it. Stevenson trying to keep it alive off the backhand. It's Hakanpää. Alongside Marchman, it's Seguin. And Seguin has it off the backhand, leaving it for Mason. Mason gained the entry. Here's a good pass for Johnston as he let a wrist shot go, but he just missed the left side post. And now Riley Smith, it's a 2-on-1 with Carlson. Here's the pass for Carlson, but he can't pick it up off his stick. It bounced off his skate. And now Carlson will try to find it there. Mason Marchman will collect in full flight. And now he'll peel back. Probably going to go ahead and take a change as the defensive crew for Vegas has it. Riley Smith will go ahead and relocate. Dallas will chip ahead. And in their own part with Joe Pavelski, it's Rope Hintz. First line's out there with the Dallas Stars. This is intercepted. And this is fired wide by Hintz up into the netting and on a play. You're going to stop with your 15:47 left to go in the second. Dallas is starting to get on the front foot here and get some chances and test Aiden Hill. And Aiden Hill, to his credit, I know the one superhuman goal by Robertson, but really can't blame Hill on that part. He's been fantastic in this series, and he's outplayed Jake Ottinger to this point. We'll see if that continues. Lindell fired high. In a 2-on-1, they're showing for Riley Smith a cross past the sauce out of the air. And Carlson tried to funnel it right back to Smith because he just didn't have a shot by the time he could collect. So Eichel will go ahead and take this defensive zone draw, and he'll win it clean. As Vegas has it. And they'll recollect with Ivan Barbashev as they'll race down the left side of the red line. They'll throw it in, as this will be picked up by Miro Heiskanen now for Ryan Suter. Heiskanen, glove down. Alec Martinez will try to locate. This will be picked back up by Miro in his zone end. Throw it in for Suter. And Suter now. And across the right side dot, this is picked up by the Golden Knights and intercepted right in front of the slot. And then across the big D will Carrier will settle it back down. Rope Hintz stuck in his own end. As this goes back to Miro here with Heiskanen and Luke Glendening. Glendening now with Delandria. Will fire this in around the inboards. And now Vegas will recollect alongside Nicholas Hague. Here's a chance now for Keegan Kolsar as he'll fire this one in. Alongside Kolsar, finishes a big hit. I think he fell down alongside one of the Dallas Stars. And on the right side, Whitecloud trying to find a piece of it. He was on a pinch. Joe Pavelski trying to pry it loose with the help of Rope Hintz. But Vegas is there with Teddy Bluger. Fire this right back down across and set it right up with Braden McNabb. As they'll pick it up here with Keegan Kolsar and dump it right into the Vegas Golden Knights. Spun around by Jake Ottinger. Has to elude a couple of stick blades there, does Vegas. And sent back for Nicholas Hague and fired right in. Ottinger will play it one more time as we'll take a look. Harley will take a look with Joel Hanley. He'll find it now. Hanley try to get this over to Harley near the right side of the red line. He'll pick it up off the backhand. Here's a chance for Hanley. He'll hold near the right side of the forehand. And a penalty hand is in the air. This will go against Ty Delandria. And Vegas will go to the first power play of the game with 14:06 left to go in the first. It might be a high stick. I'm not sure what the call is, but Ty Delandria is going to go to the box. I'll pull up the unofficial ESPN part of it as far as their box to see what they call. Ty Delandria will be busted for it nonetheless. And we will see if Vegas scores on their first power play of the game. It's a slash against Delandria. 5:54 into the second, 14:06 left. John under with you for game 4 of the Western Conference Finals. Vegas Golden Knights win tonight. They're going to be playing the Florida Panthers. And if they win tonight, the Stanley Cup Finals will start May 31st. That's what they say. If it goes to game 5, it'll go to June 3rd. Yanni Hakanpää, as this one is flipped in off the window. Sent back down, Aiden Hill will touch it with the goal stick, but had to be collected by Vegas nonetheless. And Chandler Stevenson will look to start again on the power play. It's Vegas' first of the game. 2 for 9 in the series. Chandler Stevenson drop it off. We'll collect it back near the right side of the red line. He take a huge hit as he gets knocked down. But he pops right back up. Jonathan Marchessault alongside Stone. This line's been pretty good. They've scored some timely power play goals, even though it's a couple. They're both timely. As it's a chance now for Theodore in the high slot. This will be let go, and this is bounced dangerously to Eichel, but he couldn't corral the puck near the right side dot. There's a chance for Theodore. Back to Jack. Try to center in front of between the legs. In Vegas, Marchessault. That was a play for Chandler Stevenson. He shoveled it in between his legs to Jonathan Marchessault, and that would have been a spectacular highlight. Shea Theodore. He's got it. We'll send this in toward the right wing side as Vegas has the entry up to 5-on-4. This will fall to Dallas. Flip it back down, and this will touch the goal stick of Aiden Hill. 40 seconds left to go on the power play. 12:45 left to go in the second frame. We're tied at 1. Carlson near the right side. It's a short side chance up in the netting. 35 seconds left to go in Vegas' first power play of the game. Shots on goal read 16-13 in favor of the Stars. Eichel And then they showed the between the legs pass. That was pretty sweet from Stevenson to Marchessault, but he slammed the goal. They slammed the door, did Eichel on that side. He wanted to get something better. They knew they had a chance to score. And this one might have went off the outside of the pipe as it went over and on a play. They tried to get a short side goal on Ottinger, but it hit the post, I believe. As it's Pietrangelo. He'll get in the high slot. He'll take the slap shot as it knocked the stick out of the hand of one of the Dallas Stars. They'll get a chance to recollect now. That's Luke Glendening on the kill. It's Caravanta. We'll flip this one down. And we'll find Aiden Hill one more time. 15 seconds left to go on Vegas' first power play of the game. About 12:15 left to go in the second. It's still a 1-1 tie. Carlson racing in toward the right side dot. That's where he flips it in. Picked up in behind the net now for Riley Smith. Carlson still out there. Again, Riley Smith and Carlson, the longest tenured Vegas Golden Knights. They're part of the original Golden Misfits. Into the right side dot. Ottinger makes the save, but the puck is loose. This is in behind the net now as one of the VGK players lost a glove hand. But if you lose a helmet, you got to leave, not if you lose a glove hand. As it's Pietrangelo. We'll flip this back in. We'll see if the puck will bounce in them because that is in Ottinger's way near the left side of the red line. Vegas forces a steal in Dallas's end. It's picked up now for Whitecloud. Whitecloud sent it across for Haig. He'll take a slow slap shot. And that's because the stick broke out of his hand. The shots are 5-2 now for Dallas in this period. And a chance for Haig to go get his stick. Cross check, not called the other way. Mason Marchment able to clear this out for Dallas. They want to go left to right in a second. Haven't had a chance to do so in a while. Max Domi. Here's a play. In between a couple bodies, Mason Marchment will find it near the left side of the red line. Dallas gets a change for Rope Hance. He just made an entry. Come back in off the change, and his slap shot gets denied 5-hole by Aiden Hill. Near the right side, dot walking in and shooting wide and on the play is Dallas. 11:01 left to go in the second. Dallas has had a couple of rushes, but it's still 1-1. At least they killed Vegas' power play as we go to break.
You're involved in an accident and suddenly you're faced with unexpected bills. What can you do? The insurance company wants to settle fast and settle cheap. We won't let that happen. Greg One Fortnum Partners. We can help.
I have been back and forth between the last two contacts for 30 years. My whole experience with winter wave riding was incredible.
I teach stand-up surfing lessons here in winter, and I'm always concerned that I was going to lose a contact in the water. Now, not only is my vision crystal clear, I can see better than 20/20.
Life without corrective lenses is much simpler and far more enjoyable. Just ask the thousands before you. Visit WLEI.com and book your free consultation today. Fair?
Wherever you're going, whatever you're doing, do it in the most awarded SUV ever.
When we get into the second period intermission, I will give you an NBA update as far as the Eastern Conference Finals and some Major League Baseball scores. We've got 11:01 left to go. We're almost halfway through regulation. It's a 1-1 tie for Dallas and Vegas. Dallas is down 3-0 in this series. Vegas just needs to win this last game, and they will play the Florida Panthers in the Stanley Cup Finals. And if this goes to a Game 5 on that side, I believe if it goes after 5, it will go to a June 3rd start, if not May 31st in the Cup Finals, what Sportsnet announced. So back underneath the action now, this is picked up by Haig and sent down the ice, and now Suter has it in the defensive end. His pass from about 170 feet missed everybody, and it's going to be an icing against the Stars as Joe Pavelski is back out there. They said he did not take into the morning skate. He needed a little bit of a maintenance side. Again, he's 38 years old on that, so he's been unbelievable for the Stars. Don't think Joe Pavelski has ever won a Stanley Cup. It would be nice to actually see him get one, but don't know if that's going to happen at this point. And again, how many more years Joe Pavelski is going to play. Chandler Stevenson This one is partially won by Vegas, but the pass gets intercepted as Mark Stone trying to bother a couple of the Dallas Stars, and this is sent in now for Whiteclaw. It's Stone. We'll flip this one down the ice. Will this be far enough? The icing is waved off. Neil Heiskanen doesn't like it, but it'll recollect, and the Dallas fans don't like it on that side, but Heiskanen sends this across. Sweet little move for Rope Hintz. Gains the entry here for Robertson. He'll flip it in toward the net. Aiden Hill couldn't find it for a moment, but Vegas one more time is there. Another goal. Jack Eichel breakaway. Oh, he's trying to shoot it off the back of Ottinger 3 times, but Vegas has it. As they almost score, Barbashev fluttered toward the net. They'll get a chance to get around Dallas a couple times. Jack Eichel tried to make a spectacular play. You can't let Eichel get on a breakaway. He had 3 shots at it, but Ottinger stopped them all. Here's a fake slapper walking in Theodore, and that might have almost brushed off the left side pipe. Here's McNabb. His shot gets blocked. Vegas all of a sudden dangerous now. This is picked up near the left side dot. Send it out for McNabb, and the slum Marchessault scores! Jonathan Marchessault makes it 2-1. Dallas was all sorts discombobulated. Jack Eichel was stoned 3 times by Jake Ottinger, and Vegas just didn't stop with the puck possession. Robertson, a flutter to the net. Aiden Hill couldn't find it. And then Vegas off to the races. It's Mark Stone, breakaway. A breakaway pass for Eichel. He was stopped a few times. Working in toward the net, a combination play for Barbashev. Eichel, beast mode. Near the front of the net, keeps it alive. Sent it across. Marchessault. Great work by Eichel and behind the net. Where did we see that before? And Marchessault finishes it off. Vegas has a 2-1 lead. That is a wonderful shift for Jack Eichel. And I can't tell you too many times, and again, I can't overstate it. This is just the best he's ever played since he's been in Vegas. He's got a good team in front of him. He's played a good 200-foot game, and he's recovered from that experimental neck surgery that Buffalo didn't let him have. He's fully healed now, and he thanks all the doctors and the trainers and everyone else. He's all systems go now. Maybe Buffalo should have let him get it done. McNabb and Eichel get the assists for Marchessault's goal, and Vegas has a 2-1 lead. As this is picked up now for Dallas, this is intercepted, and now Riley Smith, and this is the catching glove of Ottinger. He gets a quick whistle. They blow this one down. I don't think he had complete control of it, but they're going to say he did. 8:57 left to go in the second. Marchessault gives Vegas the lead one more time, 2-1 with 8:57 in the second.
We know. My brother and I, we work hard. But when we hit the road and buy F-150, we work smart, which means more time to play. Find the F-150 for your program. Start your journey with this great offer at your local Ford store or Ford.ca.
We'll help you take control. Speed up or slow down payments with a flexible TD mortgage. TD. Ready to help you move forward.
There's so many mannequins that I need something to really read pops right through. But this is gorgeous. Back it up.
I really wish everybody on Earth could have the perspective that we have living up here.
Those people are not going to return to Earth as the same people that left.
Join us in celebrating the many contributions Asian Canadians make to Canada.
Purpose of bringing up the lead in the series, Bruce Cassidy here tonight with me, his team's toughest test.
Hard to believe that
Bruins letting go. That's super quick. He's got the guys. Throw it, draw towards off.
We'll get back in play-by-play in 1 second. So about 8:40 left to go in the second period. John here with you. Marceau just helped them take the lead, and Aiden Hill gets undercut. We will see if he's okay. On that side, Luke Glendening checking his chicklets. Hopefully Aiden Hill can skate underneath his own power. Nick Waugh taking a look at it as well. And Aiden Hill might have to rub out a little bit. So Luke Glendening, and off the drive, he tried to chip this one here for Fredrik Olofsson. Glendening, he got a piece of Aiden Hill. Might have also got a piece of the stick of one of the Vegas Golden Knights that sent him flying. And Aiden Hill gets upended. The net gets knocked off its moorings. And again, I also say thankful for having the pegs there. He says, no problem there. He gives McNabb a little bit of a stick tap. So Aiden Hill, no worse for wear. Thank goodness for that side for Vegas, because he's been a brick wall. Luke Glendening, he's trying to shake a little bit of the cobwebs as we get a stoppage with 8:39 left to go in the second. So we will pull up the lines one more time. Dallas wins the draw. Heiskanen with an absolute ripper of a slap shot. And this will go back for Rope Hans Robertson. Sends it back here for Miro. Miro throw it back to Robo. Robo trying to put this off the outside of the cage and recollected now by Pavelski as they'll wrap this around. Rope Hans will take a look at it. Colin Miller pinches in. Here's a slap shot. This one gets blocked. Rope Hans will do the same thing and try to wrap it around, but this will be picked off. Robertson trying to find a couple stick blades, and the victory green is the first to get to it. Miro Heiskanen. And now a chance for Suter. Back to Heiskanen. He's got to let it go. Robertson gets absolutely denied by Aiden Hill with a flashy glove save. He was trying to make his bid for a tie game. That was a great look. Good puck movement by Dallas. But Aiden Hill, if you want to wonder if he could be any less locked in after getting bombarded by Luke Glendening, he absolutely robbed Jason Robertson with a flashy glove save. Some of the females out in front of their phone had their phones out on that side and had a little bit of gasps across their faces. As this is picked up now, Tyler Seguin trying to win the draw. And this will get picked up by Mason Marchman before it gets intercepted by Nick Hague. Chandler Stevenson will send this one back across. And this will be a race for Brett Howden. Jake Ottinger goes to play it. It bounces off Brett Howden. But this will be Wyatt Johnson. He gets stick lifted. Here's a slap shot. Ottinger with a humongous save and toward the left side down. But there's a rebound. Martinez lets it go high. And this might fall back to Chandler Stevenson. Couple of stick chops. Vegas still stays with this puck. Domi absolutely obliterates Stevenson with a cross check. And this is flipped down by Martinez. He wanted a penalty call. He didn't get one. He almost lost the puck as Vegas can't get this one across the red line. Title Andreas. This is picked off now by Vegas. And Alex Pietrangelo will flip this away. Stone with a diving play. And now Dallas has some possession, but Pietrangelo will find it. He'll gain the red line. He's already near the player's bench. So we'll take his change. As this will be a chance now for Joel Hanley. Hanley now will take this one across as Thomas Harley will dump it in. Played in off the backhand for Zach Whiteclaw. Zach Whiteclaw just trying to get this across the red line, but it's turned over and across the blue and picked up by Barbashev. We'll just chip this in near the right side face-off dot. Eichel will take a look again. Eichel in his puck possession. That is one of his very characteristic strengths. This is near the right side. Domi with a half spin. He'll throw a back pass, but Vegas with the attention to detail. We talk about that a lot. They're there. Barbashev one more time will dump this in. He's not hesitant to do so right now because Vegas has the lead. They don't force it like Carolina does, but Vegas will just take what you give them. As this is recollected, let's go Stars chance happening right now as Barbashev trying to get on a race, and this is blocked and deflected by a couple of Dallas sticks as Luke Glendening will send this around for Braden McNabb. Teddy Bluger gets it out. Bluger off to the races now. Jake Ottinger will play it calmly into the right side and toward the face-off dot. This is in between a couple of skate blades and McNabb. Quick little pass. Gets this here for Bluger. Will he walk in and shoot? Near the right side now. He takes a slow rester. This goes up the left pad of Otter. And now 5:45 left to go in the second. It's Joe Pavelski trying to get across the embrazen D. Plays a nice move off the backhand. Leaves it here for Freddie Olofsson, and this is in the catching glove of Hill. He makes a snazzy one. as we will get a commercial break with 5:36 left to go in the second. 2-1 Vegas.
How did we take our products to new markets? Expand our facilities?
Thank you guys for following along. Twitter Spaces and the YouTube side at John Raynaud. As always, if you want clear audio, you can follow along at Twitter Spaces, interact with them.
You also said there's no way your brother would be staying with us for more than 2 weeks.
He's got a good point. Hit that taco with more salsa.
Right. Taco night doesn't have to be perfect to be perfect. You need to try meditation.
No offense, but meditation is for white folks.
Say less, Black King.
Now streaming. See the movie or back. Only on Disney Plus.
No one is gonna think that you can play just like that. Look like a Molly Liquor with low dressed like a white girl.
See Wild Walls. Jack Harlow.
The white boys got to go.
White Man Can't Jump.
I'm here whenever you guys need me. For what? A monster? A deep tissue massage? Come on now.
Now streaming. Only on Disney Plus.
The Jeep No Limits event is here, which means more trails to blaze, more challenges to meet, more sights to discover. Get into a Jeep Wrangler, the most capable Wrangler ever. Or Jeep Grand Cherokee, the most awarded SUV ever. Jeep No Limits is here. Time to test your limits. Right now, finance the Jeep Grand Cherokee for as low as 0% for up to 60 months.
All right, Dustin Hall might be joining me here. I know he's a Stars fan on this, but we worked a couple of games as far as the Mavericks on that side with Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, and we will see if he wants to join in on this side. Again, we'll have to just call it as neutral as possible. I know it's what I'm going to do. I know he might have a little bit of extra to say, but we'll throw this in.
We know that with Michael on the ice and even strength, Vegas has outplayed the opposition, outscored the opposition 15-5. It's appropriate that Michael is in the Conn Smythe conversation.
Back underneath the action now, 5:25 left to go on the second. John, you're with you. I'm going to be joined by Dustin Hall in the third period as we will take this game in. It's 2-1 for Vegas. As this is flipped in, Jake Ottinger will take a look at it. This goes off a couple of sticks, and now William Karlsson will play this in off the backhand and dump it in. Great opportunity now for Harley. They mix it out there with Heiskanen. So Peter DeBoer, no stranger to mixing up those lines. And Pavelski now. Robertson will fire it on. There's a rebound for Aiden Hill that goes off the left side of the pad. And this will be recollected now for the Stars near the right side dot. But they're having trouble trying to get this one out. 4:51 left to go in the second. The shots are 23-21 in favor of the Stars as we get a little commercial half and half. But we will stay right here. As far as your goal scoring reset, if you're just joining me, it was William Karlsson, 4:17 in the first. Jason Robertson tied it with his fifth in the playoffs on the power play from Heiskanen and Rope Hintz. And then Jonathan Marchessault with his eighth from Braden McNabb and Jack Eichel at 10:23 in the second period. So Joe Pavelski getting a chance to look at him on the bench. I may have to flip to the ESPN coverage in the third period just to try to make sure our feeds match up a little bit because I think I will be way ahead of everybody else on that side. Nonetheless, we'll figure this out in the third period. Let's just have fun with it as Robertson a little bit on the iPad checking out as far as where he was on the ice and some of the rebound opportunities, but he's been all around it. As it's a chance for Theodore. We'll clear this out, but Dallas will fire it right back in. About 4:40 left to go in the second. This goes off a couple of stick blades, and now Zach Whitecloud has some trouble with it in behind his own end as Nick Hague. He's going to might struggle to get there in time. He'll have to take a hit as Dallas might find it. Tyler Seguin trying to get a couple stick checks here, but this will fall back to the Dallas defense. 4:25 left to go in the second. Intercepted. Here's Vegas, and a centering pass. Has to get glove down. They'll get a chance to throw back to the defense, however. Wrap this around the net. Making a play, trying to stay on their feet. How is a penalty not called? Keegan Kolsar was absolutely being hooked and held. And I was wondering if they were going to call something against Miro Heiskanen, as he was all tied up against one of the Vegas players. That was Brett Howden. So it was Howden and Heiskanen. They were stuck in a good old-fashioned battle. And Heiskanen got a piece of the glove hands, piece of the arms around there. But I guess that was just more of a hockey play. It was just Howden trying to stay on his feet. 4:10 left to go in the second. Dallas shooting Vegas 23-21. But as we talked about, shots on goal don't mean much in this series. As Howden's touching that hand, he might have taken a shot from Heiskanen. Didn't feel very good. As it's Braden McNabb. This is off the blocker of Jake Ottinger and makes the save. And Roddick Fox will try to wrap this around the inboards. That's Lindell will fire it down. This will find Vegas first as McNabb trying to provide some close support for Luke Glendening. Picked in off the backhand. Jack Eichel off the 2-on-1. Eichel's got it. Fires. Good save for Ottinger with the glove hand. And McNabb will fire it. Recollecting across the blue line. They're going to say that he did not hold it. 3:42 left to go in the second as we get a stoppage. So Jack Eichel has been really good in the ice. We talk about his 200-foot game. He finds the steal right there. He's off to the races on a 2-on-1. You know what I like for number 9 there? Very decisive about what he wants to do. If you see the pass isn't there, he is no mistake to blast that wrist shot at 90 miles an hour to get the job done. He's been all over it. He's got an assist and 3 shots here in today's game. 3:40 left to go in the second as the faceoffs won in the neutral zone. Thomas Harley will pick it up for Joel Hanley. Harley will fire this near the right side of the blue line as this is recollected. Centered on front for Domi! And a good save with the blocker for Aiden Hill. Sent back down for Hanley. And he will start again as Dallas try to play this off the backhand. They are down a goal. But still 3:15 left to go in the second. It's 2-1. Here's a centering pass for Petrangelo. It was a good-looking feed. The good defense by Dallas. Canceled off in the victory green. Red American Airlines Center. It's a race for a 1-on-1. And Aiden Hill brushed it away near the left side of the window. It's centered out in front. Turned around and the shot gets blocked. So Aiden Hill tried to brush it away, but Dallas found it. There's a tip. And this one is picked up near the left side dot for Ty Dellandrea. Now Max Domi will try to find Dellandrea, and this goes off the blocker of Aiden Hill. It was behind him. Yanni Hakanpää will shoot it. Now here's a ripper of a slap shot. Scores! And off the rebound, it's Robertson. We are tied at 2. Robo ties the game at 2. And Dallas is back on the right side of it. It was all sorts of pressure. We talk about mistakes being key. And Aiden Hill might have made one. He tried to go ahead and play the puck near the right side dot. He only could shovel it near there. It led Dallas to all sorts of puck possession. Robertson got a couple chances. He hit it off the outside of the crossbar. And then when he finally got it blocked from a slap shot, it bounces off the lively inboards. Robertson's there on the doorstep. He's got his 4th, I believe, of the series, 2nd of the game. This is the 2nd time he's got 2 goals in a game in this series, and Robertson gets his 6th career playoff goal. The Dallas fans are waving the towels here at American Airlines Center as Robo ties it at 2. 2:30 left to go in the second, and a shot just right in off the window. Robertson on the doorstep and ties this game at 2. And he just yells, "Come on that side." He knows he's pumped up. The crowd's pumped up. Dallas, they want to extend this series. If they can extend it for a couple more games, they can at least push the Stanley Cup Finals to June 3rd rather than May 31st as White Cloud enter on the window. I think this bounced off the kick plate out of play. 2:13 left to go in the second. Robertson yet again ties this game at 2 as the shot board now rates 27-23. So thank you guys for joining me so far in the YouTube side and Twitter Spaces at Drawn Around. I should have Dallas Stars advocate Dustin Hall with me. I know he did a good job with the Dallas Mavericks side. We did the one game with Luka and Kyrie in their debut. So I know he's going to be pro Dallas, but I feel like it's going to be a pretty good call on that side. Harley, as this shot gets deflected, Dallas wins the draw. Robertson gets the 6th of the playoffs at 17-21 from Lindell and Domi. Lindell was the one that let it fly. It bounced off the kick plate. Now near the right side, Mark Stone trying to play this one here, as this is Barbashev, but it'll fall back to Miro Heiskanen as he eludes a hit. Now in off the window now. Vegas gets the steal with Chandler Stevenson. A flip pass will go right back to Tyler Seguin, recollected by Stone, and this one's fired in behind the net, where Dallas will go ahead and locate it. 140 left to go. Here's Sagan. Loses it in between his skate blades. And Stone will collect it in between his legs as he drops it in for Braden McNabb. Jack Eichel back out on the ice where he has been terrific in this game. 125 left to go in the second. As this is flipped in around the window. And now Dallas will get this the other way with Robertson again. He'll spin. Fire it in toward the net. Nathan Hill will find and locate. So you notice with every goal that goes past, Robertson is finding a little bit of that confidence. He's just spraying the puck at the net. He knows he's got the hot stick right now. Somebody's got to lead, and Robo's doing it. As it's just a spin against Eichel, a fired against the grain. Pavelski was there. Maybe even looking for a deflection because Joe Pa's got those 99 hands to get a stoppage with 1:16 in the second. So Pavelski takes the draw as it's Harley. Get this one here for Robo. He'll spin. Keep it alive off the back, and he's still got it. And this is finally intercepted by Riley Smith. Here's a touch pass, and across the red line, and Riley will deflect one of the original tenured Golden Misfits. This is a chance now for Nicholas Waugh. Jason Robertson will find it. As Riley Smith, he's got the A on. He'll flip this back around. Riley Smith will center this right out in front, or at least try to, as he's pinned against the boards. Robertson still out there as well in his own end. Rope hints. He's been a little silenced here, but no doubt that's Bruce Cassidy's one of the biggest points he's got to make. As Robertson has it in the left side of the red line, he'll casually flip this one in as it touches the former St. Louis Blues captain Alex Pietrangelo. It's turned over to the right side dot. Here's a one-timer. Aiden Hill didn't know where it was. Yanni Hakanpaa's bid. This gets blocked. Jonathan Marchessault's got his 8th of the playoffs. He's the one that gave Vegas the lead as they gained the entry, but Robertson tied it. 14 seconds left to go in the second as it's flipped down. Haig will send this. 5 seconds left to go in the second as it's flipped in across the red line. This will be played by Ottinger quickly. Dallas can't get it out down to 2 seconds, but they're going to run out of time off the backhand. Robertson ties it, and we end the 2 after 2. So let's see what happens when we get into period 3. It's tied at 2. The series is 3-0 for Vegas, and Jason Robertson is doing his best to keep the series alive for the Stars. Can they do it? We'll find out in the next 20 minutes or maybe more. Come right back. So I'm going to go ahead and type this up pretty quickly on this side, and then we will welcome in Dustin Hall on this end. He will join me for the third period, or maybe even a little bit longer.
Get closer to hockey with the NHL app. Closer to the games you love and need. Closer to all your games, all the time. Get closer to everything you love with the NHL app.
One thing you might realize, going to grandma's doesn't count as vacation. When you decide to go to that amusement now, when you decide to go to Hawaii, aloha. Turns out the beach people, I heard the beach people. Slow down, boys. You know you love it. And did you know that's a beach night? And best of all, the hotel has babysitters, so you have a date night. Remember those? With Amex, it's never a question of if vacation will actually feel like vacation. It's when.
Isn't it nice when your coffee comes with a cookie on the side? How did they know you'd like something more? What about streaming a podcast or watching an episode instead of downloading ahead? Nice to have, right? When something's nice to have, more people should have it. That's why you can get Rogers 5G mobile plans now as low as $55 a month and count on more value to come because we're with you all the way.
You asked, what do you got now?
Dig deeper and get more from the news.
What does this land do for us?
Here on CBC News Explore.
So let's start with why, and then we'll get to the what.
Because that's what we do here. We explore news.
That means more carbon is being released into the atmosphere.
We dig deep into the stories.
Just want to be a dad.
We slow things down and we figure it out together.
Batters were striking out way more often.
You can get it 24 hours a day, and it's free.
How did this happen?
CBC News Explore. Stream free.
Fowler existed in 2022. Canceled.
He didn't play by the rules. All he cared about was making money.
You're on the path. Totally on the hook.
Absolutely.
Outside, the Harold Ballard story. Stream free on CBC Jet.
The 50th anniversary.
That was the greatest thing ever happened to the game.
Change target for the better. Summit 72. Stream free on CBC Jet.
Excellent game in Dallas. Vegas is plus 15 goals for and against in second periods in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Dallas actually not bad at plus 5. They're both even in the third, and then in the overtime it's all Vegas. They're plus 3, whereas Dallas is minus 4.
So in this second intermission, we'll give you the reset here. Dallas killed the first power play of the game for Vegas. Eichel made a pass in the slot as Stevenson tried to go between the legs for Marchessault. He was visibly upset, slamming on the bench. 10:23, Marchessault scored, however. Stone found Eichel in a breakaway. After Hill couldn't find the rebound for a Robertson shot, Eichel got denied 3 times. He got the puck in behind the net, but he was able to keep it alive after centering a pass for Marchessault was finished in close. Jason Robertson countered for Dallas one more time to tie this game yet again. 17-21, Robertson got his second of the game. A shot from Lindell bounces off the kick plate, and he's right in on it and scores. Shots on goal in that through the total of 40 minutes, at least 29-23 for Dallas. Hits are 35-15 for Dallas, and the faceoffs are 21-16 for the Stars as well. So it's another one of those situations where Dallas is leading pretty much in every single category. But again, we talked about that with the Panthers side of it, where Vegas just doesn't seem to care about that. Florida didn't seem to care about that either. On the side for Florida, again, I know it's not the same team as Vegas, but it almost kind of is on the side of it. If you outshoot them, probably not going to win the game. It's one of the statistical oddities, but the Panthers were 11-1 in this postseason when being outshot. It's about getting the opportunities and converting when you need to, and that's what Vegas has done. They're going to have to do so again. Jason Robertson is doing his absolute best just to make sure that Dallas can keep their season alive. Again, if Sportsnet says that this series ends in 5 or less, we will start the Stanley Cup Finals on May 31st. If it goes to Game 6 or more, it will be June 3rd. On that side, Cooper Hawkins will probably join for a couple games, maybe Alec Nava as well. I know he messaged me. He's going to be getting back across the states and the Carolinas again, so we'll figure out that side of it. I usually do work with Cooper Hopkins on the finals side. We'll figure out when we get to it. Let me give you an NBA Finals update now that I gave you the reset. And we will take this the rest across. I think Dustin Hull's going to join me here from this third period, maybe even more depending on what else we get in this game. So your NBA reset right now, Boston has a 67-51 lead on the Miami Heat. Again, they were down 3-0. They're back at TD Garden. No Gabe Vincent. Got a little of the ankle tweak, so he wasn't going to be available in this game. That's big for Miami because he's been excellent. So good balanced scoring for the Celtics. Jaylen Brown, 17 points and 7 of 15. Derek White, 5 of 8, 14. Marcus Smart, 5 of 8, 15. And Jason Tatum has got 12 on 5 of 10. For the Miami Heat, it's the Jimmy Butler experience, 4 of 9 with 12 points. Nobody else really getting it done right now. 10 points for Duncan Robinson off the bench, 4 for 5, 2 of 2 from deep. That is your NBA reset. I'm going to go ahead and get Dustin in here right now. He will get this all squared away with me. He will join for the third period, maybe even more, as Dallas looks to press and try to extend this series.
He's constantly studying the game, always wanting to learn, to evolve, and then gets to look at the delay and just leans into the pressure to make sure he can take.
Tigers get a 7-2 win over the White Sox. Padres 8-6 over the Nationals. Rockies 7-6 over the Marlins. Other finals for you: Rays 6-3 over the Blue Jays. and that's a recovery after losing 20-1 a couple nights ago. Cardinals 2-1 over the Reds, and in progress of note, the Orioles are going to beat the Yankees. They have the second best record in the league. They're up 3-0 on the bottom of the ninth. What's going on, my friend? How you doing? It's just the microphone side whenever you're ready on the bottom left. I know you're probably watching the ESPN side, so I can flip to that side because I think the Sportsnet CBC coverage for me, I got the Canadian coverage. I think that's probably going to be a little bit ahead of yours as I was watching CBC Hockey Night in Canada. Because we no longer get our local coverage when you get past the first round. So I'll flip into this ESPN side to see if we get a little closer.
And then something. If Marcus was alone, he would have read that option, but he sees Suter there. And just assumes that he's going to take him away, and that didn't help either. How far out would a goalie try to stop the pass coming and help out the defenseman there? Outside the crease? No, it's got to be inside here and here. You're not going to get way off. Exactly. If you do that, then you expose yourself to the short side.
Okay, I'm on.
What's going on, man?
Can I just see the reverse arm?
All right.
So you got ESPN, right? That's what we're watching for you?
Yes, sir.
So I flip back over. I mean, I probably will be a little bit ahead of you. You might be a little bit ahead of me, actually, because I'm only streaming on that side. So I flipped it on the same side. And it's a 2-2 game. I know when you texted me the first goal, you're absolutely right there with Jason Robertson. That was tremendous hand-eye. I mean, the dude had to bat it 3 times as Aiden Hill was trying to locate the puck. Robertson finished. And then he also finished off a shot at the kick plate from Lindell as Dallas is in a 2-2 tie with Vegas trying to extend their season.
We're making Italian beef sandwiches.
Yeah, I wish we were joining at a better time right now. Unfortunately, it's doom and gloom for the Dallas Stars. But the best young offensive player seems to be kind of getting it going. And who knows if they can sneak this game out, win one in Vegas, get it back here for Game 6. And it's a different feeling for sure. Not that much optimism right now because of how the series has gone thus far, but 2-2 with a period to go. I'm sure they're going to give the greatest effort they could possibly give at this point.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I know there was a lot of talk about, we've talked about it a few times with Robertson in production. He's got 4 goals in this series, so there's got to be some production coming from other ways when Dallas has thrived on that before. But I know you've been dealing with work and some other things, but I'm sure that you saw some of the highlights and some of the things within Game 3. What did you make of the Jamie Benn situation, the trash on the ice, some of the other things? I know it hurts to talk about because I know who you're rooting for, but I got to get your thoughts since you're on here.
It doesn't hurt that much to call it like it is. I mean, the Jamie Benn situation, essentially, I think Dallas is not that not as physical as a team as Vegas is. So the one player that is physical and feels like he can stand up in a physicality standpoint to any player on the other team would be Jamie Benn. And I think he was trying to send a message to let them know that the team's not going to be bullied and something along those lines. And he just simply got out of hand, right? He was trying to send a message and he, kind of just crossed that line of trying to set a tone for your team, and essentially he made a big mistake that put his team in a big hole. And as far as everybody trashing the ice going into I believe it was to the last intermission, which was odd, by the way. I've never seen that where they just literally quit mid-period and said we'll finish the next 21 seconds after the intermission. I think it's understandable. I'm sure the crowd was as shocked as I was sitting on my couch to see the game go that way after you just saw your team barely get beat in Vegas, right? Up 2-1 with a minute or so to go, lose that, and then lose it as quick as they did in overtime.
Right.
I think
obviously watching it on TV and seeing all the replays, everybody knows Jamie Benn was in the wrong. However, if you've had a few beers in you and you spent a lot of money to go watch these guys play on that given night, and you're there, I'm sure the majority of the people were thinking they got robbed, and why did you kick out our captain over a simple little hockey hit that looked like a normal thing to me, right? Once everybody got home and saw it on SportsCenter the next day, they were like, oh,
Right.
I get it now, right? But at the moment, I could understand everybody was shocked. Nobody saw that coming. If you're going to lose, that's one thing, but to have the crowd absolutely quieted like 5 minutes into the game and really they never got back into it, it was one of the most disappointing, most shocking Dallas playoff performances by any Dallas sports team, I would say. Just nobody thought that was going to be the outcome of that game.
No, and I mean, I can tell you this too, and I've texting you back and forth, and I've been honest about it, whether they're doing these coverages or not. I think Dallas is one of the most complete teams that's left. No disrespect to the Golden Knights, because we know what they are too, but I just expected more. And on that side of it for Game 3, considering it's a must-win after what happened, those last two games were close, like you said, and to see them pretty much be down 3 goals, not even 8 minutes into the first period, yeah, it's disappointing.
Disappointing, but I think if we put a bit of a perspective on it, the way they lost Game 2 was just, that was a difficult loss. You had that one. I think I don't know if you would agree with this. I felt like they outplayed Vegas in Game 2. They deserved that victory. And then Eichel makes that incredible no-look pass to I forget the guy that scored the goal. It was an incredible play to put it into overtime by an incredible player. That guy's, as much as I'm rooting for the green shirts, that guy is amazing. I would just say I haven't enjoyed a lot of his fine work on the ice, but that guy just stands out to me. As many good players as Vegas has, that guy would kind of stand out as the number one player to be on that squad. But going back to my point, yeah, it looks really lopsided right now. But Game 2, again, you can kind of tell me what you think when I finish my point here, but I think Dallas played well enough to deserve to win Game 2. They didn't win Game 2, and then you give up a goal in the first 2 minutes, and then your captain has this ridiculous penalty, right? As shocked as we are on the couch, I'm sure the players are just as shocked, right? Yeah. The young players on that team to see their 35-year-old veteran that they kind of look up to and listen to, right? See him take just an obvious, just not a smart, penalty, right, to put your team. So it's not like they just got dominated. It feels that way certainly after the last game, but if you really look at the whole series, I don't think they're getting dominated. Vegas obviously has an advantage on the defensive side. The Stars, I still think, have an advantage offensively. What was supposed to hopefully sway it in the Stars' advantage was goaltending, right? They supposedly have a better goaltender than what the Golden Knights have to offer. And when your goaltender gets pulled, right, so then it just, things could have turned out a lot different.
I don't disagree with you, honestly. In the sense of Game 3 that got away, we can write that one off and agree that one got away. But in Game 1 and Game 2, those are both overtime games, and the margins are very razor thin. But if you want to talk about, shots on goals, hits, face-offs, pace of play, Dallas has been on the front foot in the series more so than Vegas has. That's kind of been the problem if you look at the other series. I know they're all one-goal games in between Florida and Carolina. Carolina outshot Florida, outplayed Florida for 4 games, and they got swept. So, that's what happens on some of these sides, but you're right about that. In between Aiden Hill and Jake Ottinger is something that even I can't argue. We know how good Jake is, but right now he's being outplayed by Aiden Hill. We know about the defense, as you said. Vegas has a bunch of 6'2" guys and more, and that full bottom 6 defense that find the puck, they clear it out quickly, and they allow their goaltender to make the saves that he's supposed to make. He's doing that right now, and Dallas just needs, quite frankly, someone to be able to step up tonight. Robertson's doing that right now. Extend this series and try to continue to fight for as long as you can, because you're not out of it until you lose 4 games.
That is correct, and
And as unlikely as it may be, I think only 4 times in NHL history has a team came back from 3-0 to actually win a series. Right, so that's 4 times out of how many playoff series that have happened where a team's been down 3-0. So I would say the one saving grace or one thing that would give you some optimism for the Stars is, again, the cream does usually rise to the top, and everybody would have rated the Stars goaltender well above what Vegas has to offer. Right, so somehow they get this game going, and maybe their offense gets a little more momentum. Right, getting more creative plays around the net, and maybe the cream rises to the top, and that reverses. Right, and Ottinger suddenly has a little bit less pressure on him because the high-powered Dallas offense finally gets this thing going. So there's possibilities out there, but if they don't win this next period, then that's a moot point. Right?
No, you're right. And I mean, if you look at it again, last year for what happened with the Calgary Flames when they lost in 7. It was a Dallas team that didn't have any of these other pieces that I have right now. And today you're missing Jimmy Benn and Evgeny Dadonov, 66% of your second line. Jake Ottinger's still just 24 years of age. He played 63 games out of 82 in the regular season. He's played every game in the playoffs. So he's feeling pressure, and he's probably a little bit exhausted, but you got to rise through it all that time right now. And Dallas is 60 minutes away or 20 minutes away or even more, depending on if we go to OT. Try to get that one done. They got to win this period.
So just educate me on this. I'll defer to you on the hockey knowledge. As far as 63 games, is that average for a supreme goaltender, or is that above average for games played, or is that kind of normal?
It's probably getting above average now, Dustin, on that side. We're more along the lines of a 2 tandem where you want to get to like 50 to 55. At 63, that's quite a lot. You're getting a few more. You might be like Marty Brodeur if you're getting close to the 70 range. So this is an opportunity now with 19:35 left to go in the third, and this is a chance
so
for
as we're
Vegas.
getting going, I'll just let you know I have a stream going that I'm watching, and I also have it live on my TV as well. So let's see if we're on the same page right now. 81 has it on his stick. Where are you at on that?
What time do you see on your screen, by the way? We'll just do it that way.
19:03 on my TV and 19:30 on the stream.
Okay, so you're a little bit ahead on the TV. I'm kind of in the middle. I'm at 19:05 right now. As this is sent now for Robertson, and he's got it. And he'll send this one down the ice for Aiden Hill. This will find his stick, and Vegas will brush this aside. They will look to go left to right in this third period, and the Road Whites, they need just one more victory, and they'll be playing the Florida Panthers. Depends on how far this series goes, because this could start the Stanley Cup Finals as early as May 31st or as late as June 3rd, as this is picked up now near the left side of the red line, and this will be shoveled ahead. Tyler Seguin has it. He'll collect it off the backhand and throw it in off the window, as Dallas will matriculate this around the front, and Chandler Stevenson with a no-look pass from Mark Stone, and Captain C will try to get this one to Stevenson as he still keeps it alive with a couple of stick handles. And he'll brush this as he tries to get away from Hanley that pinches him toward the right side of the boards. And Vegas will still try to locate this as Mason Marchment will pry it loose. Try to get picked up here for Tyler Seguin near the right side dot. Seguin's got it. Now for Mason Marchment. Enters off the forehand. He'll fire in the offside dot. It's a good save by Aiden Hill. Up into the stomach. Sent back around the end boards now as Teddy Bluger will play this off the backhand to McNabb. This gets turned over. Dallas might have a chance on it. Luke Glendening couldn't find it. And now picked up off the backhand for Vegas. As he's centered back out for Vegas, they'll recollect, and Jake Ottinger finds it, and the stomach will hold on with 17:39 left to go in the third. That was Keegan Kolsar with the wrist shot.
Hey, just to chime in real quick, are you watching this on NHL, one of the NHL cable channels, or how are you getting this?
I have this on the ESPN regular channel, so it's just streaming for me, though.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
So
because I actually do have the NHL package, so it didn't mean that got in there, sorry.
Nope, you're good on that side. I just flipped over to the ESPN because I know I was watching CBC, the Canadian side. So this is slap shotted in. And now recollected for Alex Pietrangelo, the former St. Louis Blues captain. He's been good for Vegas. And now this is lobbed over and across the emblazoned Big D logo. And Aiden Hill will touch this with the goal stick. Leave it here for Former LA King, Alec Martinez. Again, they were the last team to come back from a 3-0 deficit and win the Stanley Cup Finals for the LA Kings in 2012 over the Rangers. And that's what Dallas wants to try to do to get in. But Vegas, they've been good throughout this series, and they're trying to get to the Cup Final for the first time since 2018 when they lost to Ovechkin and the Caps. It's tied to Landria. Lost in between escape legs, Jonathan Marchessault trying to provide some support, and Esa Lindell will get it out. This is stolen by Max Domi. Domi gained the entry up the stick off. Here's a drop pass. Good save by Aiden Hill with the right blocker. This will go the other way for Mason Marchment in the high slot now. Dallas has it. Suter thought about it. He'll fire it in between the trees, and Aiden Hill will brush this away with the left blocker. It'll go to Miro Heiskanen. Heiskanen sent it around the end boards. It's blocked in between Delandria. And Dallas still with us for a moment as it goes to the longest tenured Golden Knight, Riley Smith, alongside Carlson. Petrangelo will put this in across the Dr. Pepper logo and for Jake Ottinger, and he'll play it, wrap it back around, and we'll start again right to left. It's Ryan Suter. Mason Marchment, part of that second line, as they'll drop this one, but it gets stolen by Carlson. Here's an opportunity for Nick Waugh. Holds up at the line. It gets bodied up by Suter. Carlson trying to keep it alive off the backhand. Sagan trying to finish ahead. Is Wyatt Johnston, the 20-year-old. He has it. I'll play it now here for Harley. Sagan near the right side. Gain the entry. Here's a nice little stutter move, but Dallas loses it. And now this could be an opportunity. It's a 3-on-1. A glove save for Ottinger. This goes over the net, I thought. And I thought he got a piece of it, but we get a stoppage as the fans rise to their feet. It was a 3-on-1.
Get a piece of that, yeah. It definitely went off either the mitt or the arm pad, something. He caught a piece of that to deflect it over the top bar.
A 3-on-1 and a save for Jake Ottinger there. So when we're talking about Dustin, for him to look good in this series, I mean, he's looked good right now in a must-win situation for Dallas.
No, this kid's a stud, and I really didn't agree with the coach pulling him in the last game. Didn't really like that decision because he's your guy. I didn't think those goals were his fault, to be honest with you. If you look at it, they were a backhander, over the shoulder pad underneath the bar, and then basically two cross passes left your goalie stranded. So pulling him, I thought was I didn't like the message.
No, I mean, like you said, you get chances in front of the net for Vegas. You got to be able to clean those out in front of the crease. That's your job as a defensive side, no matter how good the passes are from Eichel, as we talked about. Here's a good-looking move from Freddie Olofsson as he gets this off the windmill. Spin this back around as Dallas try to keep this in, but it's turned over. And now it's a one-on-one. Vegas looking for support. Here's the cross pass, and they'll spin. Shea Theodore trying to make a cutting play for Martinez as this is wrapped around the net now. Vegas will intercept. It's William Carrier for Alex Petrangelo. They'll fire right on, and Ottinger says no. But Vegas might get a piece of this off the backhand as they'll be patient to keep this in. Robertson, good defense to brush out Teddy Bluger. And now this will fall back to Alex Petrangelo on the defensive side for the Golden Knights. 14:40 left to go in the third. John here within the play-by-play, being joined by Dustin Hall as we take in the color side. Hellebuck gets popped off for one of the Golden Knights and toward the right side of the players' bench, so he's got to go make his change. And that's Lindell with the victory green, the Dallas Stars. They got it. They'll gain across the red line, but Robertson gets pilfered. It's Marchessault. We'll send this back around, and Yanni Hakanpää gets hit off the puck, but Harley will get this one out. Vegas trying to keep it alive near the left side of the blue line as Jack Eichel will join in. He'll gain the steal off the backhand. Played in by Barbashev. It's Eichel in behind the office. You got to be careful when he's behind the net. And now the Golden Knights have us near the left side of the red line. Here's Eichel, still with it, working in behind the net. Pick it back up, and this gets intercepted now. Mason Marchment and Kiviranta trying to do some work, and this will fall back to the Dallas Stars, and they will start again. Spin around is Hanley, and Hanley will send this across the red line for Max Domi. He was the trade line acquisition for Jim Nill. He's been pretty good. In between Riley Smith and Max Domi, and this will be fluttered ahead and gloved down out of the air by Dallas. And across the D, they gain the red line. Miro Heiskanen off the backhand or the right side window, eludes a hit, and this is flipped in by Zach Whitecloud. Heiskanen will try to locate it, but Zach will get to it first. Put this back around the inboards as Aiden Hill's looking on the stand-up near the left post. 13-10 thereabouts in third. Here comes Carlson with a chance. This one will get blocked. Riley Smith will just backhand this one to William Karlsson. Nicholas Wall will try to join in. as Dallas will flutter this in into the defensive zone and start again with Alex Pietrangelo, the neutral. Gain the red line, will skate this right in and bank this off the window with a fluttering pass, and this will go to Dallas. They'll do the same, change it up with Suter. And across the logo, Dallas will dump this in with the former Red Wing Luke Glendening. Aiden Hill will spin this back around for Alec Martinez, and now this will be intercepted across the neutral zone, but it's offsides. So we're tied at 2. 12:38 left to go in this game, and we are still waiting right now if we need to get a third out of 4 games going into OT in this series.
Well, I'm happy to see the team showed up with a good spirit, it appears, because win, lose, or draw, right? So the nucleus for this team is young, and they're going to be around for a while, it appears. So you don't want to you want to make sure you, as a team, that they react properly to the situation that they're in and show fight, right? So if they show that they had quit in them, then that lingers on to the next season, and it goes on and on, I think, in situations like that. So it's, in my opinion, it's good, win, lose, or draw, however the series goes, if they can stretch it out, if they don't, if it ends tonight. It looks like there's no quit in the team. They showed up with the proper attitude. That doesn't always happen in this situation.
I couldn't agree with you more, honestly. I'm not just saying that because you're on the broadcast. I think that's exactly what you want to see. It was an ugly situation from Game 3, as we talk about. You want to see them move on immediately, and that's 48 hours after the fact, and they've done so. They're in a dogfight right now with the Vegas Golden Knights, and Dallas is trying to do something right now that Carolina couldn't even do against Florida. That's win a game. You got to be able to start that way no matter how you can do it. Look, we talked about this as far as all sports when we text them back and forth. The Boston Celtics were able to get a win against the Miami Heat. They're trying to get an extra one now. The last I checked, they saw a lead, but there's been a lot of sweeps across this NHL and NBA conference finals.
Right. The miracles do happen in sports, but they don't happen unless you give the opportunity for it to happen, right? So the ball doesn't go through Bill Buckner's legs if the Mets don't already have a rally going on to allow that to even be an opportunity to possibly happen. So you have to show up and continue fighting and put the pressure on the other team, and maybe they have the holy S moment, and keep your composure and see what happens.
And Ric Flair is certainly trying to pump everybody up on the ESPN side. That's what I saw. So it's a neutral zone draw here for Vegas and Dallas. You would think so, my friend, on that side. As this is sent back here for Lindell as Dallas wins another draw, and this is flipped in. Picked up now, Kiravata trying to send a cross pass, and Dallas will locate it near the right side of the red line, but here comes Vegas, left to right. They'll gain the entry here for Stone off the backhand. He's got it now, but he's pinned into the left side boards, and now Stevenson with the drop. Pietrangelo. He'll fire. This one is slowly deflected. Ottinger makes the save, and it's put in toward the right side blue line. It's Pietrangelo. Here comes a slapper for Stone. Big rebound as Alec Martinez will pinch on the defensive effort. Stone almost able to walk right in. And here's a long flip. This will be a high stick that was played with the puck, so no penalty, but we could get a stoppage at 11:53.
So while we have a stoppage, I'm curious. I know we have been out for this game, but last game they subbed in D'Angelo. I'm not even that familiar with this guy. He has not played that much. I don't think in the last month and a half going into the postseason. I don't know if he played at all in the postseason until last game. Do you have any understanding as to why they would have made that?
Ty Dellandrea has played a little bit in the regular season. He's played a little bit in the postseason, but I think they're just trying to find people that have some tenure, because a couple of the guys that they called today from the Texas Stars, and I'll get their names at the commercial break, haven't even played a game in the NHL yet off that side. Backhand opportunity, and we'll get more to that when we get a break. Eichel, that was a power move to the backhand that got saved by Ottinger, but they're just going with the most tenure right now and most experience, as it's Whitecroft. And this is sent back around now for Vegas, and they'll make a press. It's Eichel, and across the red line, sweet little windmill move. Eichel dancing with the backhand, and that was saved by Ottinger.
Good God, what a move by Eichel. That is just majestic right there, right around him like he wasn't even there.
It's amazing to me that he was the second pick in the draft behind Connor McDavid, and the Buffalo Sabres traded him to Vegas because they wouldn't let him get the neck surgery that was experimental at the time. Vegas did. They didn't give up a lot to get him. They let him heal, and now he's playing the best hockey he's ever played, and he's discovered a 200-foot game. He plays defense now. So there you go. Still only 26.
Yeah, I can't say enough about that individual. I've been very impressed by him throughout the series. Again, his pass is what kept that game tied up in game 2.
Yes, it was. He's got an assist and 5 shots, about 13 minutes of ice time. As Harley will spin back, Thomas Harley has it now over Joel Hanley on that side, if that's still what they're using for Peter DeBoer's lines. And this is sent in now. This is stolen away from Nick Waugh, and here's a rush. Riley Smith and toward the right side dot will play this in off the backhand and recollected by Nick Waugh. As this bounces off of William Karlsson, and a shot gets deflected, but this will go wide. Nick Waugh trying to finish a hit on Harley. Sagan will try to locate this in behind the net as Ottinger just keeping in the butterfly near the left side post, getting a little busy in beside his crease right now. We're almost halfway through the third in regulation as the Stars can't find this, and now they finally will, but Smith will recollect it across the neutral zone. It's dumped in. Shots in this period, at least their attempts, are 14-5 for Vegas, as they certainly have this pace of the third period. They want to try to get this sweep as much as possible so they can get the rest. That's important this time of year, and Dallas just needs to extend as much as they can. As we're 9:55 left to go in this tie game in the third, it's tied at 2. Robertson's got a pair of goals, and Marchessault had the go-ahead goal for a time. As this is dumped in, Ottinger way out of his goal crease, and this one will be played in through the neutral zone, where it'll be deflected from Martinez to Pietrangelo, and then across the neutral zone. Vegas gains the entry, keeping Kolsar, spin this around the kick plate. It's picked up off the backhand. Here comes a slap shot. This gets blocked near the left side. Doubly recollected by Vegas. Spun around the net for Keegan Kolsar on the fourth line for Bruce Cassidy's squad. They'll wrap this back around. Still working in behind the net. Robertson trying to locate it, and so is Yanni Hakanpää as they force one of the Golden Knights into the boards. That was a good hit on that side and shoveled back out by the Stars. Spun around now for Alec Martinez. And across the red line, here's Miro Heiskanen, fresh off the change. Heiskanen, he's making some moves in through the left side dot, kept in by Robertson, but he's stick lifted by Chandler Stevenson. Stevenson, it's 1-on-3.
They just couldn't keep it in the zone.
That was great. He was keeping it off the back skate as Robertson was trying to hold it in. And now Heiskanen will fire it in again, as Dustin's always saying on that side for Heiskanen. You look at Chance's offensive abilities. Again, he's just as good defensively on that side as Dallas is one of the best defenders in the league.
And I would certainly maintain that he is the best player on the Dallas Stars. There's a lot of offensive limelight that goes on for this team, but number 4 to me is the best player on the team.
I don't think I disagree with you, as this is centered right on front of a slap shot. One of the sticks goes flying. It's near the right side dot. Wrapped in around the window now, Max Domi tries to play this off the outside of the net. Still with it, centered out in front. This bounces off that stick and now to the D-line side. Hanley will fire it around as Dallas starting to get some possession. Heiskanen, Ty Dellandrea, and the high slot. It's Domi into the traffic as this goes around Aiden Hill. And now the Golden Knights will shovel this away with a stick poke. And Zach Whitecloud might have got bit up in the left side of the leg instead of the thigh with a shot as he goes into the bench. Dallas will flip it in. 7:35 left to go in this third. The shots on goal rate 36-31 for Dallas, but it's a 2-2 tie. Vegas is a 3-0 series lead. They gain the entry, try to find Riley Smith, but it's sticked away. Sagan trying to make some moves as this pass gets intercepted by William Karlsson, and it's funneled in the offensive zone, but it will be iced against Vegas. They can't make any changes.
Well, so far it feels kind of like the end of a boxing match where the guy that's kind of been beating up on his opponent kind of goes in for the kill, and the Dallas Stars kind of came close to getting killed with Vegas holding it in their zone there quite a bit and kind of hitting close to them on the shot total at this point. But then I guess the Stars, they're not ready to go out yet. They're still fighting. They came back with quite the surge there in the last 2 minutes, so it goes in the last 7.
I showed Ty Dellandrea a shot. We were just talking about when I hit the outside of the bar as far as the replay. Yeah, you're right. They're trying to get a little bit of a press here, but got to be careful because the last moments of these games, especially in games 1 and games 2, that's kind of where it got away from the Stars. Got to make sure that they keep the attention. Pietrangelo, this shot gets blocked. This one bounced it back around for Carrier. And now Robertson, nice move in between his own end. He just gets a chance to make a play. Rope hints with a sauce pass. This might fall back to Rope, but just a little bit too far. And now Alec Martinez from Keegan Kolsar as this is spun back around. And now Dallas will get a chance to relocate this. As this will be an opportunity for Esa Lindell. He's been in Dallas for quite a while. This is inside the blue line, but this is turned over by Vegas. They'll gain the entry, but they need some reinforcements here. Here for a chance for Amadios. They'll flip this back around. Here's a slap shot for Pietrangelo. This goes out the window. It's fluttering in over end, and Wyatt Johnston will use the glass, but he can't clear it out. Mason Marchment now finally will. Here's Wyatt Johnston. Gains the entry in the middle of the slide. Here's a sauce pass. The shot goes wide. The left side of the window. And Dallas will recollect now for Ryan Suter. And Miro Heiskanen. Heiskanen gains the entry and eludes a hit. As Vegas will try to find it. They'll just flip this down across the red line. And Dallas has it. Here's a long stretch pass from about 70 feet. Mason Marchment. He's entangled with a couple of Vegas Golden Knights as this is near the left side dot. And it can't be held. And now Marchessault off the backhand. There's no penalty on that side. There was a couple sticks that were getting tangled off the one-on-one battle. And now another stretch pass for Vegas. Marchessault gains the offensive end. Here's Eichel again. You got to watch out for number 9. This is continuing to spin off the forehand. Centered out to the left side dot. This goes up the outside of the cage for Jonathan Marchessault. Back to Eichel now on the defense. As this is continue to be danced around by Vegas. They'll fire right on. Dallas is running into themselves in the middle of the net, but Heiskanen pops back up. Barbashev trying to send this around, and now Heiskanen will find it off the one flip. Dallas was kind of getting stuck in the same spot, and Vegas kept moving that puck around. Eichel will flip it in on Ottinger. This takes a weird bounce, but this is gloved down by Hanley. Send it over to Thomas Harley. Harley will get this here for the offensive, and Luke Glendening on the fourth line side for Peter DeBoer's squad. They're not out there to score goals right now, but you never can know who's going to be the hero, as Glendening is trying to pick this one up alongside Radek Faksa near the left side of the red line. Vegas will look to counter now, left to right. They got it with Nick Waugh, but it's stuck in between his skates, shoveled out for Eichel. And this is shot up high on a play. That was Riley Smith, 4:37 left to go in the third. We take a commercial break. Well, there is no doubt about the level of intrigue here as we get closer to the end of the third. Overtime might be looming, but again, from covering the first couple games in this series, we know what the end of the third period can bring. So I hope that Dallas, for their sake, is ready to go as far as plays behind their net, because you got to be careful about those.
Yeah, hopefully the tide can turn again. I think overall, as far as just the overall hockey play in this series, although Dallas is down 3-0, I don't think that they're, an inferior team to the point where it stands out like a sore thumb, and that you don't feel like they shouldn't be in the contest. I don't think that's accurate. However, right, the closing moments, that's
Right.
what matters the most when you have two evenly matched teams.
Yes.
Right now, I feel really comfortable with Ottinger's demeanor. He looks very comfortable back there. I don't feel comfortable with how much it's in their zone. Right, your goalie seems to be in a pretty decent mind space right now. He looks like he's confident. He looks like he's ready to go. However, if that puck stays in that zone, like it has, I don't know what the stats are. It feels like the Stars have had it in their zone for about 3 minutes, and the rest of the period has been on the opposite end. So Dallas needs to get it back on the other end. The goalie is playing well, but the more you test that, then at some point, it may not turn out too well for him.
Everything that you're saying is exactly backing up what I'm seeing. I'll say a shame on NHL.com and everyone else for not tracking time on attack as far as their pointers on that side, because that's exactly what you're alluding to. And that's what's happening right now in Game 3. Because as you said, Ottinger's playing well, but let's try to push this pace into Aiden Hill's side every once in a while.
Correct. Again, you're supposed to have the advantage at net, but put that lesser goalie on pressure on him, if you will. Okay, it looks like action's picking up.
This will be a face-off win here for the Golden Knights as they got it. 4:30 left to go in the third. There's a chance that gets deflected off the outside of the cage and picked up now by Esa Lindell. And this will be flipped into the players' bench. No penalty. We get a stoppage. 4:27.
So 4 minutes and 27 seconds possibly left in the Dallas Stars season here. And we'll see how they. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Is there a penalty?
I don't think so. I'm pulling up my box score on the computer side just to make sure
The
that there
referees
isn't
are
anything.
gathering for some reason. That's making me nervous.
That wouldn't.
Looks like we're good for 5-on-5.
We're good. No, I'm always double checking on this side as far as everything else in front of me. So, but I can understand why you would feel nervous, my friend, because if it was the Red Wings for me, I'd feel the same way. So here will be another offensive zone draw for Vegas. And this one is recollected yet again, and it's fired on. It's blocked by a couple of Victor Green bodies, but it's not kept out just yet. There's a chance that gets picked up near the right side of the red line and shipped back down as Vegas will try to locate this back and through the offensive end and start again.
So again, the uncomfortable story continues right now. It's in the Dallas end way too often. When Dallas should be the desperate team pushing forward, right? You don't want to push forward carelessly, but this has to change at some point. It can't stay in that end for much longer, or bad things are going to happen.
No, I agree with you because that's kind of what I was alluding to in game 1 and game 2. That's kind of how it was at the end of it. Again, you said Dallas had the lead. They couldn't hold on to it. They felt like in game 2 they were trying to hold on to a 1-goal lead that kind of slipped away because they stopped playing offense as much. And those are the things that you start to see as Eichel gains the entry and Marchessault has this going between a couple of escape blades. Sent back down now for Pietrangelo. And Marchessault will flip it in. Jonathan Marchessault, Alec Martinez is pinned against the wall. Jack Eichel back out there as it's taken away from Barbashev. Joe Kiravanta with a long flip. It's Max Domi. Good looking wrist shot, but a good save by Hill as it was a one-on-one flip. It is pretty crazy. And again, he's a pretty good offensive player on that side.
Surprisingly, he's not just a muck-it-up fighter. Yes, he can play.
He definitely can as Aiden Hill will send this back around. Pietrangelo, Martinez is gloved down. Here for Mason Marchment and the Dallas Stars. They'll try to flip this one in. Again, they're trying to get some offensive zone time. This third period is starting to look more and more like Vegas. There are 3 minutes left to go potentially. What Dustin said is the Dallas season, unless they can extend it even into OT, and we go as long as we need to. I called a 4 overtime game between the Florida Panthers and the Carolina Hurricanes, so be no stranger for extra time. 2:45 left to go in the third as Hanley delivers a hit. This will fall back to Jake Ottinger, and it's turned over right in behind the net. You can't do that. We talked about that throughout this series as Vegas gets some pressure. Dallas is so good at winning some draws, you might just want to take some of those as this is sent back in across the blue line. And this will be flipped up high. It'll be an opportunity now for Harley in behind the net. 2:20 left to go in the third. John here with you on play-by-play, being joined by Dustin Hall. Dallas trying to keep their series alive here. They're down 3-0, but it's a 2-2 tie. Robertson got a pair of goals. Marchessault had the go-ahead one for a time being. And Mark Stone will flip it in. Take a look for Brett Howden. Again, he's playing through a lower body injury right now, but who isn't injured this time of year? And across the red line, here's a one-on-one. Backhanded opportunity, and Olofsson gets robbed by Hill. So Aiden Hill, 970 save percentage on the rush. Thank you for ESPN for that one. That is by far the highest in NHL. That's 865. So he's a man possessed off one-on-ones. But that was a good-looking play for Olofsson. This is his first game in the 2023 playoffs, and he's been very noticeable. As Heiskanen will flip this back around, and Dallas will look to start again right to left. Radek Faksa lost the puck. And now this will go back for Braden McNabb. About $1:20 left to go in the third. As this is played for Marchessault. And the top line's out there, but it goes off the stick twig. Marchessault will get this from Eichel. Shoveled out in front. Ottinger down. Marchessault couldn't locate his stick, but the Stars get it out. And they'll flip it with Ty Dellandrea. It's a long flip in the webbing of the catching glove. Aiden Hill elects to play it quickly. A minute left to go in regulation. We're tied at 2. Eichel near the right side and working behind the net. Shovel this around the kick plate. Vegas is the first to get to it with Nick Hague. He'll pinch. And now played in off the backhand. Zach Whiteclaw trying to race for it. So the defenseman pinching just to try to keep this alive is Mason Marchment. He's stuck in near the right side dot. He gets the backhand out. And you watch with the defenseman pinch. Maybe one of the Dallas Stars, maybe not at this point of the game, can catch a break or something. As this is sent in now off of a stick check. And Dallas trying to find it. Everybody standing here at American Airlines Center. Sometimes it makes it difficult to track the puck. Riley Smith shoots it up into the netting. And this gets partially deflected by Ottinger and sent down the ice into the players' bench. And we will get a stoppage. So good save by Otter there. And that was right at 12.9.
Boy, they are showing that replay right now off the breakaway that the Dallas Stars had there. And good save, but what a move by 42.
Freddie Olsen, that was a great move. And he's a fourth liner on that side. Didn't look like it there. But these are all NHL players.
12.9 guys, and don't let anything bad happen. Let's get this thing OT. Come on now.
You are wearing your heart on your sleeve for all the Dallas fans on that side, and I can feel you on that end because I'm thinking the same thing.
Away, baby. I can't hide it. Come on.
No, I feel the same thing, same way that you do. Again, I actually really like the Dallas Stars. I want to see them fight back a little bit on that side.
Of course you do. We got your ex-general manager. We got the Dallas Detroit Stars, essentially.
Yeah, there's been a lot of trades and stuff like that. We're going to do this draw again. 11.4 left to go in the third. Or we're going to go back to 12.9. We're just going to redo the draw.
Let's just not let any goals go in by the Vegas team, the expansion team that's been around since 2017 or whatever. Come on.
Yep, 2017-18. You're correct. It's their 6th year. They made the Western Conference Finals 4 out of 6 years. They were set up and they've succeeded, but that's what Gary Bettman wants. Max Domi's got to win a big draw here. And now here's the face-off. The shot gets blocked and picked up now partially by Joe Pavelski, but he turns it over. Now this is in between a couple of skate blades. And now more shoveling at it, but this is going to end the third period, and we are going to overtime.
Boy, what happened with that hit there? Mark Stone is yapping at Heiskanen, and Heiskanen is yapping back at him. I need to see that replay on what happened with that collision right at the end.
We need to show that again on the ESPN side because it happened so quickly. I saw a little bit of what you were talking about. Now they're showing us the third overtime game in the series. We know that. So it's been pretty much overtimes all the way across the conference finals, and I can't believe they're not showing it. What I'm going to do right now for this commercial break is I'm going to flip back to the Sportsnet coverage on CBC and then go back to ESPN just in case they'll show some of the things that we don't get. But what's your pulse level at, Dustin, now? You're going to OT again.
To be honest, I'm happy that we're at this point and we didn't get shellacked 4-0 because that would have been embarrassing. So at this point, I'm glad that the team showed up, and I feel optimistic that they could be the next one to score the goal just as well as the other team could. I think it's about a coin flip right now. That's hockey sometimes, right? So no good with our goalie again. I think if the Stars could come out and outshoot Vegas like 7-1, right, to start the period, I think they'll get a goal in the first 10 minutes. I think though, but if Vegas is holding the puck in the Dallas zone, I don't feel comfortable with that. Like I'm cheering, I like his demeanor right now, but man, you got to put that on the other end and let him kind of hang out and sip on a water bottle there for a minute.
I don't disagree with you on that side. Again, I like to do this sometimes when we get into the OT, and again, this selections, they'll go as long as we need to for the OT, but I know you know a lot of the names on the Dallas side. I'm not going to try to put you too much on the spot, but give me your overtime winner for the Dallas Stars. Who do you think scores? Because I'll give you one on both sides. But who are you taking?
You know what? I think Joe Pavelski had such a hot start to the playoffs after coming back from the being out there with a concussion for a couple games. I think he would be the player that's the most talented player that hadn't scored tonight. I don't believe he scored last. Oh, you know what? He did score last game, didn't he? He got one in last game.
Yeah, he hasn't had a lot in this series. They tried to shut him down.
I'm gonna cover my bases. I'm gonna throw out two.
Okay. Go
I'll
ahead.
say it'll be Pavelski or he's gonna. I think he's maybe from if the Stars get on a power play, I can see number 4 putting one in from the point with a wrist shot.
I'm going to go ahead. I know this isn't on a limb or anything because he's already got 2. I think Robertson's been hot in this game. He's been around it. Give me the hat for Robo.
That would have been my third option. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Robo for Dallas, and for the Golden Knights, I will take Jonathan Marchessault. He's been all around it. He's got a goal in this game as well. Hopefully that's not what it comes down to, because I would like to cover another game on Saturday, but that depends on whether or not the Stars can get this done. But again, openly, I am not going for the Golden Knights. I don't want to see a sweep. If they win it, they win it, but let's Dallas make them fight back. And as Dustin said on this side, at least we've seen the effort, because honestly, it's very easy. I'll just throw this out there. It's very easy for the Stars to just lay down after everything that happened in Game 3, but they didn't do it, and I like that.
And it does happen in sports sometimes when you go through this long, tenuous season and you pour everything out there, and then something happens like that, especially when you're captain, right? The guy that's the leader kind of lets you down and kind of screws you over. It's easy to start setting tee times.
Yeah.
Right? Start thinking about the vacation. Well, we put it in and we did the best we can, but honestly, I don't want to fly back to Vegas again unless it's on my own time, right? So it would be easy to do that, but obviously these guys are, they're disappointed, I'm sure. They thought that they certainly didn't think this was the scenario that was going to happen. And they, listen, if they do win this game, they've shown they can go to Vegas and put a winning performance in. They had them in Game 2. They gave it away in the last minute, So they know if they win this game, it could easily come back to Dallas for Game 6, and Dallas comes out and gets like a 2-0 lead in that game. The roof would blow off that place, and there you go. Things can happen, but they got to take care of this business right now. And again, if Vegas keeps dictating the play and keeping it in the Dallas zone, that does not bode well for the Dallas Stars.
No, that's definitely something that's got to change, and we'll see if that does so in the overtime. Again,
How do you change it though? I don't know what they need to do right now. Is Vegas just that much better? Talent-wise, they're just like, okay, when it's this time of the game, we're going to do this because we're that much better. Is that what's happening right now? I really don't know.
See, the thing for me, it's hard to quantify because I look at it the other way for Bruce Cassidy. He was the Boston Bruins head coach. He was let go pretty unfairly. And as soon as he was available, he was like the golden goose. And Vegas pretty much put him right up there. And then you got this defensive core that's really good. You got the Eichel trade that they didn't have to give up a lot to get him. They've already had good pieces, and they're a deep team. But the way that they've been dictating the play that's what kind of bothers me going into this series. And that's why you asked the question. And I'm left scratching my head because I felt going into this, honestly, that I think Dallas could have won this in 7 games. I felt like it was going to be a long series. It didn't start to look that way right now because it's been close games. And the razor-thin margin that we had, that's kind of been the issue. They've had the game, like you said, a couple times, and some mistakes, turnovers, and then that's all it takes.
Yeah, I guess a good team, when you make mistakes, they pounce on those mistakes. So the margin for error is small. And again, if you were to write a storybook, way for the series to go from now to the end, right, the Stars would get this one in overtime. They get it in Vegas. And then the captain's back for Game 6, and he redeems himself, right?
That would be story.
He puts in 2 goals, and they get a win in that one. And then the whole team is just so juiced for Game 7. They got just a bunch of wild men and just dominate. But it's all right now. We'll see. That's the unfortunate thing about hockey sometimes. As much as I enjoy the sport, playing it on a video game or watching it on TV, a little funny bounce here or there right now could just, sink your heart into your stomach.
Yeah, more so than any other sport, like you said. That's what hockey can do. It can be very cruel on that side. And as you said, there's been times, and I don't disagree with you, Dallas has outplayed the Golden Knights in this series. The same thing for Carolina and Florida, but sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. You got to be able to have the players that play well this time of year and have the Stars lead. And that's what they've kind of done for Vegas. We're waiting for that for Dallas. But dare I say it right now, against all circumstances, they had a really good opportunity in Game 2 that slipped away. But this Game 4 effort's probably their second best effort of the series so far, I think.
Yeah, I know the TV broadcast that I was listening to before I joined your spot there. I think that's what they were all saying, is that first period was the best period that Dallas had played the entire series. So, who knows? Like, if they can get this win, get a little momentum, maybe that's the thing that carries on for the next game, and it turns into something. If you look at it in the regular season way, right? Teams win 7 games in a row. They win 8 games in a row. Sometimes against really good teams. They'll just have a good streak of luck and really good play. So you win one game, okay. I'm sure Vegas isn't too worried about that. Now you win Game 2 and they got to come back to Dallas. I'm pretty sure they're worried about that. Right? If you get down when it's 3-2 and they got to fly back to Dallas, and
right?
Geez, I thought we had this wrapped up. So now we're coming back to Dallas. We got to play one more, and then the captain shows up, and like I said, best case scenario, that Stars get an early lead, and that house just gets rocking, right? And it turns into a blowout in the Stars' direction. Things can happen, but all that is just things to ponder on, unless they take care of business for right now.
You're correct about that. And speaking of taking care of business, or at least trying to, Boston has forced a Game 6. So we will go back to Miami on that side is a convincing 110-97 victory for the Seas, and good balanced scoring all the way across. Derek White had 24, Marcus Smart 23, Jaylen Brown 21, Tatum with 21 as well. As the other side, it was Bam Adebayo with 16. He had just 3 points in the first half. Jimmy Butler held the 14, as they didn't have Gabe Vincent in this one.
That is interesting. That if anyone was going to come back from 3-0, it would be that one. Miami's a good team, and Jimmy Butler's played out of his mind to get him to this point. But at the end of the day, Boston was a lot better than throughout the regular season, and I don't think that's false in any way. They came out, put their big boy pants on, and punched him right in the mouth. And Boston, still trying to figure that out. And maybe they do have some kind of decision in the race on that team. It seems like I've heard rumors of Jaylen Brown kind of not being too stoked about his role and on that team, and maybe even doesn't even like the fan base. So there may be things on there on that team, but they're so talented. You look at them, if you're going to see a team come back from that type of deficit, that one would not be shocking. I don't think at all.
Yeah, and it leads into the narrative that we were just talking about in this hockey game. Going to mess around and find out here. Well, now you're going into a Game 6. If you don't win that one, you got Game 7 back in Boston, and then that's completely tables turned at that point.
And then I think the momentum does shift on that team. Like, seriously, like the Stars feel, or even the Celtics did, they felt pressure when you're down 3-0 because you don't want to be embarrassed. I think it's more embarrassing if you historically are one of the only 5 teams in the history of sports that lost a 3-0 lead. So
right.
That can really turn real fast. But I mean, if you get it back to Game 6 like Boston is now, and that game's in Boston or Miami?
The Game 6 is going to be in Miami.
Oh, so if it goes, so now it's really on Miami. They don't want to go to Boston for Game 7. Are you kidding me?
No.
So that pressure can spin a lot, because you don't want to be the team that's known to be as the one that choke. Like, if Dallas loses this series, it'll be looked at as like they got punched in the mouth, they got their ass whooped. If somehow they lost, it would be if somehow Vegas lost, it would be an historical loss for them, right?
Yeah.
One of only 5 teams. So things like, I'm just saying that pressure can really, the team that has the most pressure can flip drastically. in that type of situation.
And as you said, 5 teams in the NHL. It's never happened in the NBA. So
Was that correct?
no team up 3-0 has ever lost in the NBA.
Good night.
And Miami is 2 games away.
Well, if I was the coach for the Boston Celtics, I'd be writing that on the bulletin board there. Get my guys amped up. Be like, if you could just win 2 more in a row against these guys, you're right. Do something that's never been done. Are you motivated yet?
Yeah, I don't think there really is any other motivation to have besides that. You're correct. Joe Mazzulla better write that on the whiteboard. And you know what Eric Spoelstra's got to do? He's been there for a long time. That's a must-win Game 6 to me because look what happened to Philadelphia when they had to go back to TD Garden. They got housed.
Yeah. By the way, did you see the TNT broadcast on the last Miami Heat Boston game?
I did see something the other day, but refresh my memory.
Yeah, they had something really funny on there. So Jimmy Butler played for Marquette in college, right?
Yeah.
I can't remember the team that Joe Mazzulla played for, but they actually played against each other in the NCAA tournament.
Wow.
And apparently Butler was busting him up, like he couldn't guard him. So obviously the TNT crew, being one of the funniest sports shows on TV, they were just cracking up and saying, well, Joe Mazzulla couldn't guard him now, and he can't guard Jimmy Butler now. Couldn't guard him then, can't guard him now.
That's pretty good on that side. And again, that's one of the things that you pick up. Everybody on that broadcast does their homework, and they are the best broadcast on that side as far as I'm concerned. It's not even close.
Hey, we're about to get started, so I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll be back in 1 second.
Okay. So here's the deal. We're going to go to OT again at ENIC on that side. I'm going to go ahead and keep this live, but I'm going to go ahead and have you listen in if you want to. And then if there's any other times where it's just you and me, then we'll get this in there. But I got Dustin Hall with me here on the color side. He's going to take a quick break. We're going into the OT. So the way that this works, again, it's sudden death overtime. And we will get an ice scrapage about the 10-minute mark whenever we get a stoppage on that side. But otherwise, no breaks. So everybody buckle your seatbelts. It's the 3rd overtime game in the series. No stranger for overtime. And for me, there was a lot of those in between the Panthers side. There's a lot of these in between the Stars right now. And the Golden Knights Stars, simply put, they win this. They extend the series to Saturday. And I'll be right back as long as I'm available for that side for Saturday. And if the Golden Knights win, they will play the Florida Panthers, who made the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time since '96. Golden Knights looking to do so for the second time since 2018, where they lost to the Washington Capitals and Alex Ovechkin. So this should be a lot of fun. We will see how long this is. Let me know in the comments section who's your goal scorers, who you taking for both teams, because we're going to get set here right now for the puck drop. Just about 15 seconds. So the towels are waving at American Airlines Center. It's all systems go right now. We start a sudden death overtime. Nick Waugh will win the draw. In Vegas now we'll go right to left in the white jerseys with the black pants. The Dallas Stars in the victory green with the green and black striping on the pants. As this is recollected by Wyatt Johnston. Here's a stick drag. Played off the backhand for Sagan. Sagan trying to center it out in front. And Alex Pietrangelo will play this off the window and off the backhand. William Karlsson will locate it, as this is brushed aside by a couple of sticks. Here comes Dallas. Has it now with Marchman. This one's fired. This is wide off the left side of the red line as this is wrapped back around. And Dallas will hustle and obfuscate now. And Lundell will find it. As this will be picked up for Dallas. About 19:15 left to go in this OT. Unless we get a goal score. This is right in the webbing of the catching glove. So I like that immediately from Dallas to get a shot on and get the face off and get things going.
And again, not to beat a dead bush, but they gotta keep it in the Vegas end. You can't do that for another period. You're tempting fate if you continue to let them hold it near your goalie, right?
Dallas is a really good offensive zone team. Like we said, they win draws. You can mix Pavelski, mix Sagan, whatever they got to do. Again, the one thing with Jimmy Benn not being here, it's another guy that doesn't take the draws. It'll happen. Roope Hintz will win it. This is the shot that fluttered. This one's wide, and Hill will spin and this will be located near the right side dot, as the Golden Knights will flip this down, and they've iced it, so they can't make any changes.
Iced it once again, okay. All right. So again, my main thought is Dallas, keep the pressure on. Eventually, the cream rises to the top, and that goalie is not as good as yours, but you gotta apply the pressure to make that be a deciding factor, right? He has held up at this point, but historically, he's not as good as your goalie, so you have to put the pressure on, get this win, and see if you can get to the next one, and let it be decided that way.
That's all you can do. You can't make Aiden Hill look so great when you can't put active pucks on him. As Eichel lets one fly, this one bounces off the left side boards. Now I'm behind the office of Jake Ottinger. He's looking around, holding on the butterfly. It's Nick Hague. Spin this back here for Jack Eichel. He loves working him behind the net. He dishes into the defensive side as that goes off the right pad of Jake Ottinger. Spin move by Marchessault, and now stolen. There's a chance for Rope Hansen across the red line as he's just going to go ahead and take his change. He's already near the bench. And now Joe Pavelski, he's been stuck out there near the right side boards. Here's a stick and drag move by Radek Faksa. Now this is in behind the office of Aiden Hill. As this is played in off the backhand, Howden's got to work his way off the backhand, but he's still being held a little bit by Mason Marchment. And across the red line now, Stevenson gets taken down with his heavily padded wallet. And this goes the other way for Nicholas Hague. And across the red line, we'll fire this in for Ottinger. And Faksa will spin, he'll leave it. As this is flipped up into the blue line side, almost turned over there for Dallas, but this will fall back for Vegas. And across the red line, entry here for Dallas. They got a rush. Here's a backhand. This is shoveled through the blue paint. As Lindell gets denied. He couldn't really get a shot. Now I'm behind the net. As there's all sorts of cross checks in front of the net. One of the stars goes down. Absolutely up in arms of the fans. As Delandria got hit in the mouth. He got a stick right to the jawline. He was brushed down right in front. He is absolutely beat up on that side. And if they don't call a penalty, that would be an absolute mistake. Here's a rush near the right side. Lindell tries to get a play off the backhand. Delandria. He wants the puck near the right side. Dottie's in the front. McNabb. He gets a stick right into the face of Delandria. They're calling him. Yes, they are. And now the only question is whether it's 2 or 4, but that had to be called.
I don't know if it's 2 or 4, but it's called. And the fans are ready to light this thing up. Let's go.
So it's just a 2-minute high stick. So McNabb will sit. But Dallas, everybody's amped up right now. They got an opportunity to extend this series here with a goal. And this is a golden opportunity here, Dustin. They can't waste it.
And if my goal call was going to – oh, jeez. What? I am looking at the replay. Why was that even a debatable thing? How did you not see that? Jeez, that was so obvious. Okay, but here we go. Let's get it going. Call it, John.
So it's a chance for Braden McNabb. They're showing him here. Tyler Seguin get a chance to take this draw, but it's won by Vegas. 1-for-1, 2 shots, 2 freight in the series. Dallas has it. They'll keep it in the right side blue line. Here's a diving attempt. But now Vegas, they'll have the puck possession. They'll slap shot this thing to Jake Ottinger, and they'll try to set it up here for Miro Heiskanen. He's the power play quarterback. And they want to get things going with him. Joe Pavelski gained the entry here, but he turns it right over. And this is flipped back down here for Jake. So Jake will take his time, and maybe now a chance for Miro to gain an entry here. Unless he wants to play a forward pass, so I'll drop it here for Rope Hintz. That's another good design. Rope Hintz and toward Robo. As he gets up and near the right side boards, it's a loose puck. Rope Hintz between his legs. And Hill makes the save. This is an high slot slap shot. Scores! Joe Pavelski. And the series is extended. 3-2. Joe Pavelski. And we will see you Saturday.
Don't let that game-winning shot drop on Joe Pavelski.
Man, that was a lot of fun here, Dustin. I'm glad you could join me here for this third and OT. I know it's a lot more fun when your team wins. But they got the power play. They took advantage of it. You know what's going on with the Donov and Ben. You get the whole situation. This is a gut check effort by Dallas. That was a wonderful effort by them today.
You know what? They're good enough. Again, I'll go back to game 2, and the way that game transitioned, I think they may just have got too conservative at the end because I feel like they actually outplayed them by quite a bit, and they protected that 2-1 lead just a little bit too much. They're good enough to beat this team at the end of the day. They had an unfortunate loss in game 2. Their captain left them high and dry in game 3, and you know what? Vegas has one more game to play. We'll see what happens.
And I'll give you credit. Who called the game-winning goal? As Mr. Dustin Hall with Joe Pavelski.
Hey, deductive reasoning. Probably the number 16, son.
You can't keep a good man down for long. And Joe Pavelski, man, he's been the leader all year, and he does it again. It really is amazing, to be honest with you. It really is.
He's the same age as LeBron James, I do believe. And,
yeah.
Before him at just higher level, if not higher, as possible. So we'll see.
So we're going to do this again on Saturday. So if I'm available, that'll be my call on Saturday, being off day for tomorrow. If you want to do this again Saturday, if you're on, I know you got to work on the Sunday side, so maybe not. But
actually, I do not. I'm off until Monday, so yeah, I should be available. I think I could do that. Are we looking at a 7 o'clock start on that day?
Yep, same deal, 7:15.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can be available for that.
All right, so I'll let you know if I'm available for Saturday. What I will do is I will download the next-gen version of the game as I'm getting the story all typed up, and I'll be off after that. I just got to get all this stuff finished. So thank you for joining me, my friend. It was a lot of fun, and it's just good to see this crowd being a heck of a lot better spirits. The sweep sucks. We're not going to see that right now. We're going to be back for Saturday.
Yeah, thank goodness again. Even if they can't pull out a historic comeback, right? This is a good character building win for this team because they know when they get to adverse situations next season and seasons beyond this that they didn't quit, right? They can look themselves in the eye and know that my teammates are not quitters. Nobody quit. Everybody said we should probably lose this game. Our captain's not here. You know, yada, yada, yada. They came through and got a win. Their young 24-year-old goalie didn't flinch. Even though I think his coach is a bum, and I think we should get a new one next year to throw that out there. That's just a ridiculous, I'm going to just take the goalie out when I know he's the best goalie on our team. But anyways, not to get off on a tangent there. But no, it's a good win. It's a good character-building win. And who knows, maybe it does turn into something. If they pull out a game and pull out a win on Saturday, Vegas is not looking forward to coming back to Dallas. I promise you that.
All right, well, that all sounds good, and I agree with you. I'll let you know about Saturday, but I'll try to get everything squared away, and I'll shoot you a text here pretty soon, I hope. If not, I will talk to you at least tomorrow then.
Sounds good.
All right, see you. Well, it was a lot of fun, guys. We'll do this again. If I'm available for the Saturday side, we will cover Game 5. It will be the Stars and the Golden Knights. They got to go back to Las Vegas. This isn't for a tea time. We've extended the series. See you then.